Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 4 of Octane Online Racing's Simrigs Sprint Series. Tonight, we are at Zolder for Split Blue, the opening race for tonight's action. I'm joined by the ever-beautiful Breno Ellis. My name is Blake Griffiths. Breno, how are you doing?
I'm quite well, Blake. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to the action here tonight. We've got some pretty quick operators in here as we're just getting underway for qualifying. Who have you got our eyes on tonight, Breno?
Oh, like I was just saying before, I think we've got the man on screen here, the number 24 Bentley, Joshua Holmes, Jamwise, I think he is known as. Very, very quick operator. I saw him do some blistering lap times in the practice server earlier in the week, so I think we'll keep our eyes on him. But don't discount Thistleweight. Same car, was very quick at Alton Park. In fact, took the win from Joshua Holmes at Alton Park. So we might see these two go toe-to-toe once again up the front.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty safe bet, paying $1 on the dollar, if you will. As we are riding on board with him now, right-hand drive, if you're not familiar, a little bit, it's interesting. People seem to be so thrown off, and in a server that has a lot of Australians who drive on the right, it's interesting to me that people get thrown off like that.
It is one of those things that I find quite funny. Like, I feel as if it'll take me a little while to get used to the right-hand drive, despite driving right-hand drive in real life most days. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Josh has been driving it for a little while now, so he's pretty accustomed to it, but might not help with the track limits, especially down here into the chicane, especially being right-hand drive. You think you're a little bit further left, a little bit further right than you maybe otherwise are. So we'll see how that goes. As most people in the chat probably know, as they play a fair bit of ACC, track limits here pretty strict. So I wouldn't be surprised. Josh actually drives on the left side. Oh, there you go.
Oh, does he
So
move his views port thing, like move the view
does
setting
he
to
use
the
the chase gun
left?
file? Oh, there's some sparks flying and a sick drift into the final corner. That's not going to be the quickest, but it was certainly stylish.
That British GTR living up to the name. Still sets the I guess it is literally the first lap we're gonna see, but yeah, we'll be sure to see this ramp up now. But interestingly, we talk about our Cam Thistleweights and our Josh Holmes, but it's actually right now dead tied between Nathan Monks and Ishan Lele for the overall overarching series score, both sitting currently at 270 points over the course of the first 3 rounds, with Chris Murphy behind them. But I think you were just telling me that Chris has moved to Split Red, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. I think he had some work roster changes or something, I think I read. So he's moved to the Split Blood a little bit later tonight.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that's going to put him outside out of the championship for both splits. But unfortunately, sometimes duty calls.
Yeah, it's one of those things that literally is what it is. But following Chris, who's had to bow out, we have the aforementioned Cameron Thistleweight and Joshua Holmes, with Sean Bubb now rounding out what is then your top 5 if we are excluding Chris Murphy. So currently, Split Blue being led by Silver Class, which is pretty awesome, but I do think both of those guys are definitely knocking on the door of a promotion. They've been very, very good this season, as we are following along with Lele, who's currently 7/10 up. And Nathan Monks, just not to miss out on him, sets the fastest lap so far.
Yeah, first time in the 27s with about 10 minutes to go. The track does seem to improve towards the end of qualifying, or at least that's what I found last night. It's a bit yellow. So I reckon we'll see those times tumble a little bit more than what they are at the moment. 27.9, still a pretty good lap time, but I think there's probably a couple more tenths in that, especially from the man on screen here, Joshua Holmes, who just invalidates his lap, unfortunately, at the first chicane. There you go. That is the immediate commentator curse.
Yeah, it doesn't get more efficient than that. That was express. It's on board with
could never.
On board with Lutzi, he's currently looking pretty good. Oh, finds quite a bit of time there, braking nice and late, and doesn't lose too much time on the back end, so still up about 5/10. That would put him on pole currently if he can hold on, but as you said, I do think there's quite a bit more time to find here. I'm pretty sure Little Bird told me that Josh Holmes is capable of getting into the 26s, which is just out of this world fast. So we'll see how we go. As Luti coming into the last chicane. Nice cut across those sausage curbs. Probably a bit more than I'd like to cut, but he did get up just a little bit more, and that's a lovely time, but it's already eclipsed by Cam Thistlethwaite. Sorry, Jaden Rondinella.
Yeah, it's he's definitely got a couple of tenths in the lap. We saw that delta fluctuate quite a bit as Cam Thistlethwaite decides he doesn't feel like driving anymore, and he's probably going to jump back into the pits, put a new set of boots on, and go out to hold his position of provisional pole at the moment. So we jump back on board with Monks, who's gaining a lot actually, 2.5 tenths up, coming out and gaining down towards the second chicane. This is definitely going to put him comfortably on provisional pole. And he's still gaining time, so maybe this is that crossover point. The track's just sort of improved just a touch, or maybe his 27.9 wasn't the cleanest lap. The Mustang there still having bits and pieces. You can see the Aston livery just trying to peek through. I think I can see the thong on the side there.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is an interesting livery, but I actually think it's a bit of a Frankenstein from what's from the previous car. So Nathan Monk's driving the infamous Arstong Martin, and now back in the Mustang, which gonna go out on a limb, say it's his preferred car, because I had seen him driving it a bit, but yeah, it's looking interesting, to say the least.
There we go. Look how tight it is up the top. A couple of blokes just improved. Bub now actually takes second, about a tenth off of Monk's time. So the track definitely improving in these latter stages of the qualifying session.
I'm not gonna say who, but someone just marked their attendance for this race.
I did see that jumping up and down.
You're supposed to do it before qualifying starts. I don't think it's any good if you do it after qualifying. So still riding along with
driving. Yeah, where's the speed? Where's the camera? Where's the mobile phone camera? I think we need one.
Oh, back and forth, but on with Cricky now in that 87 Bentley. Cricky looking pretty good, going to improve by 0.2 of a second. Well, sorry, he's got a lot of lap to go, don't get me wrong. Even then, he's just gone up another 10th, and now he's going down another 10th. It's a very Zolder giveth, Zolder taketh away. It's very, very easy to lose that time over one of the many chicanes here.
Oh no. And just cuts a little bit too much to the second part of the second chicane.
It's that right-hand drive, I'm telling you.
Yeah, as we see Lele here, currently P10, 9 tenths off the pace, 3 tenths up on his tyre, and this will put him not actually that far up. He's only going to improve in one position. He'll still be about 0.5 tenth off of Hislop currently in P8 in the GTR. So this is going to be interesting for the championship. You've got Monks right at the top. I believe he still is currently on provisional pole, and Lele down in P9, and he's going to jump into the pits, come out for one more run. He'll probably be able to get three more laps in at the end of qualifying here. Yeah, Monks still holding P1 in the Mustang, 27.6, very respectable lap time that. I'm still curious to see what Holmes is going to do, because I reckon he's leaving a bit on the table. As you see, Thistlethwaite, the delta just decreasing rapidly into the final chicane. As here we go, Holmes, 4 tenths coming out of the hairpin into the final corner. That's going to comfortably put him into provisional pole. That'll be a 27.4, maybe even a 27.3, gains a little bit loses a little bit. It's going to be a slow burn down to the line. No, it stabilizes at 3.5 tenths up. He's going to come across the line. That will be provisional pole at 27.4 on the noggin, if you don't mind.
That's tasty. That's tasty. Nathan Monks, what you got?
Mm.
And I think Camp Thistleweight, what you got? We were hyping them up. I want to see this. This is the marquee battle, if you will.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see how it develops over the last couple minutes.
Someone else just marked their attendance as well. I didn't see who that one was, so I'm not even shielding them this time. No phones while you're racing. Ay.
Yeah, so Thistlewaite's going to back out of this lap here, give himself a gap to the drivers ahead, and go for, he'll probably get 3 more push laps, I reckon. As Holmes, gets a bit of a twitch coming through the fast right-hander, and loses actually a lot. And decides to pull over. Will he go back out? There's 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. The lap time here is just under 1:30. So you'll get 2 more laps. I think 2 more flying laps in. Do we think it's enough, or do we think Holmes is happy with his lap time?
I mean, we know that he can do better than that, but he might be happy. He might want to race side by side. We'll see how it goes. But there's definitely time to do a few more.
So we're back on board with David Marsh here. Changed to the McLaren. I believe he was in the Mustang for the first half of the season. Just under 2 tenths up on his time, improves to P14. And Barker 5 tenths up. Is that a valid lap? It is too. Unfortunately, doesn't move anywhere with that improvement. Still stays P18. Saxon deciding not to qualify, or has joined fairly late. Maybe, no, he has marked his attendance, so he wasn't one of the ones that did it at the very last minute. So we're on board here with Rondinelli. Gets a bit of a twitch through the fast right-hander coming up to the first chicane. I would love to try and pronounce the corner names, but I just don't think that's viable. So it's first chicane, second chicane, hairpin, the right-hander, the other right-hander for me tonight. Loses a bit through the chicane, the first chicane there. Currently 5 tenths down in his lap, but we'll probably push to the end just so he has enough time to do another one. I think it's going to be pretty close if he wants to do another 2, sorry.
Come on, Breno. The first chicane, that's the second easiest corner name.
The Klein, the Klein chicane.
Second easiest behind the simply named butt corner.
Villeneuve chicane. That's we can pronounce that one as well.
That's all you're getting though, chat. That's it.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, that's where most of the action happens anyway, through the chicanes. So I think we're set.
Alright, as they're getting through to the last couple of flying laps, Camp Thistleweight will get another go, for sure. Everyone in this pack will most likely. Mike Crick behind Nathan Monks there. That's a bit of grass. Doing a little lawn mowing. Doing a lot of lawn mowing. Oh.
I'm going to pull out of that. Here we go. Lele currently 2 tenths up on his time. He is catching the GTR ahead. I'm not sure. Is that Hards? I believe that's S Hards, possibly, in the GTR. No, sorry, that's Hislop.
Yeah.
Hislop has decided to switch car. Oh, mate, he's literally right ahead in the standings as well, currently P8. So Hislop has opted for the GTR for the second half of the season. For those playing at home, during the mid-season break, you are allowed to make a car selection change, if you so please, with no penalty. So there will be a couple of drivers that have chopped and changed, sorry, their car choice. So Monks being one of them, Hislop another. Looking through the field, everybody else seems to have stuck with their first loves of the first half of the season. I could be wrong though. I don't have the memory of an elephant, unfortunately.
So we are on board with Joshua Jones Holmes, if you will, for his final flying lap. Oh, that was across the line.
Yep.
My bad. I was looking somewhere else. So he did not improve on that last one, but we are riding on board with Nathan Monks, who is also not improving as we are about 2/3 to the track, approaching. Oh my god, Boulder Bergbocht.
And you've
Oh,
got the
bit of a
Jockenrindbocht as the
yeah,
little jink after the hairpin for no apparent reason.
yeah. Lele
Here we
though
go.
up a lot. He's
Oh,
losing a bit, but that's still going to be at least P. Yeah, there we
5.
go,
Okay.
P5.
Respectable
Nice,
effort.
nice.
Yeah, Monks crosses the line, does not improve on his 27.5. It gets to that point at the end of qualifying when you're just pushing a bit too hard and the lap time's just not flowing. So I have a feeling that's what's happened with the drivers a little bit today. Bub now rounds up the provisional podium, 3/10 off the pace, and then with the 165 McLaren, who is actually on screen as well.
Would you believe that this is the current top five for the overall standings in the top five of qualifying? So that's a nice little tidbit for you.
Yeah, shame it's not in the same order, but yeah, we do have 5. Is it? I think it'd be Bub now for Murphy, but other than that,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
not including Murphy, who cannot physically be in the qualifying.
Sure. I think if you ask nicely enough, they'll let you do 2 splits.
I mean, apparently you don't have to mark your attendance; you just show up. Can we show that on stream? Showing Hole on stream? Oh my god. Ay.
It's alright. The YouTube mods, just close your eyes. It's alright. It's okay.
So, give me some predictions. Who you got? We've talked about our Joneses and our Thistleweights, but who's actually taken home the champs?
I think it's going to be a tight battle up the top. Monks and Holmes, you can't really split them. Well, I mean, a 10th and a half isn't a lot in qualifying. We'll see what their race pace is like, and we'll see who changes tyres and who doesn't, because you can gain a bit of an advantage in the pit stop. It is a fixed refuel time of 25 seconds, so it doesn't matter how much fuel you put in, it will always be 25 seconds. But for the extra 5 seconds, you can change tyres, which means you only have to fuel up for about halfway. You don't have to, well, I mean, you fill up halfway regardless, but it's going to be interesting. At a track like Zolder, where it's not the hardest to defend, not taking tyres might be the strategy.
Yeah, I feel like it encourages a pretty hard-nosed racing here. It's pretty tight in most of the circuit, barring a few corners where it's like the width of the track isn't really usable for any kind of overtaking anyway. So we'll see. Hopefully they keep it pretty clean, but it can get a little bit dicey as everyone's just making those final tweaks, making sure the car actually has fuel in it. We're not running the wrong brake pads. Quick nervous pee before the race, if you're me.
Turn your telemetry laps to 99.
Yes, as long as that's 99, everyone.
Speaking of which, I should probably submit my Motec from last night. Thank you for the reminder.
You're very, very welcome.
So they'll be pulling away to complete the formation lap in just a moment as we see the little Easter egg there. Yeah, in the mirror.
I was going to say, who's that guy?
Yeah, I think this is one of the developers, like lead developer of ACC. Somebody in chat, help me out. They mentioned it last night, but I don't remember who it was. Apparently there's a couple little Easter eggs around this track from the developers, which is pretty cool.
Did Bob now actually get going? Well, there's no one on the start line, so hopefully he is all good. Just racing back from that quick nervous pee before the race.
This is a gorgeous shot. I absolutely adored this one from last night, so I'm glad Mr. Hignett, our lovely broadcaster, has decided to whip it out again tonight.
Yeah, lovely stuff. I actually really enjoyed racing in dusk. I thought it was quite fun. Like, sort of like just hitting that like edge of the evening as the fireworks went over the finish line. It was really nice. It's good change of pace.
Yeah, I do like the sunset races. Kailami at sunset. Oh, mate, the photographer in me gets distracted from driving sometimes when I'm coming through sunset down the hill.
Stick Death 1980 saying it's the CEO.
Yes. So there we go. Mr. Kunos himself.
John Kunos himself. Did you take tyres last night?
I did take tyres last night, but mostly because I had a bit of a gap behind that I thought it would be, yeah, like I had the time
Yeah.
to do so, whereas I know the three guys behind me, or at least Glory and Luke Johnson behind me, neither of them took tyres. Glory I knew wasn't going to take tyres, just because he was going to try and get the jump on the other two. But I wasn't sure what Luke Johnson was going to do. But yeah, didn't end up taking tyres either. Unfortunately, Kafil ran out of fuel. Forgot to box. Well, not ran out of fuel, but just had to fuel save like absolute crazy to make it to the box. So unfortunately, he was just out of the running. But I don't think he changed tyres either. By how... Well, no, he must have changed tyres, sorry, because he caught those two really quickly. So anyway, I digress. We are lining up on the start-finish straight. We're coming across the line in just a moment here for round 4 of the Sprint Series, Octane Online Racing Sprint Series, and the lights go green very, 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 very late. There we go, they are green. Joshua Holmes gets a nice jump. Monks is going to try and round the outside, but it's not really going to work. Let's see if Bub now in P3 can do anything about it. He's going to be on the outside for turn 2. No, he's dropped off the back a little bit. They're going to slot into single file like here, I think here. Lele and Rondinella are actually going side by side, so I've lied a little bit there. We'll see if these guys can do it cleanly. No, Lele comes out ahead, and they do finally slot into single file as they come on the run up to the Klein chicane. Is that a little bit of dust I see in the background? So you see a beautiful shot here of the first chicane. Let's see these cars fly.
A bit of dust. That was a bullet across the screen. Someone has ordered that coffin early. The 89 car, which is
Mr. Penfold, I believe.
One of the Penfolds.
Yes, the R variety.
Yes. They're both R Penfold. We do keep going this. R Penfold in the Aston Martin has had some kind of unfortunate coming together. I don't think you exit with that speed on your own regard. But we're just coming through the last chicane. With that being the only major incident, I think we'll take that. Josh Holmes already putting a bit of a gap on Nathan Monks. 8/10 in one lap in the first lap. That's pretty spicy. As Brenno has just stepped out for a minute, so you are stuck with me, everyone. So sorry about that. But yeah, everyone getting through pretty okay. It's going to be a little bit of a recovery drive for Penfold back there in the 89. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a replay of that in a minute. But Josh Holmes looking pretty comfortable. He's already stretched that out another 3/10, and here we are with Penfold in that Aston Martin. He's got Crick on the inside. Crick, just the lightest touch, and it's just unsettled the car heaps and sent him off pretty bad. Unfortunate. Not the start you want to have to your race at all. Yeah, it is a little bit of a small grid tonight, unfortunately. I thought we had about 20 because people were, as I mentioned earlier, marking their attendance late, and we are up to 19 in expected attendance, so someone might have already quit. Josh Holmes setting the pace. We're just on the edge of 127's race pace. With Bub now, though, with Thistlethwaite all over his wing. Thistlethwaite taking a wider line into T2. coming in a little bit sharper. But it's so hard to get a move done here. Anything you do, I feel like you have to muscle your way in. You're saying, I am taking this position from you, and you have to have a lot of faith that they are going to give you that space so that you both don't come a cropper there. But I'm now taking both curbs in the McLaren, which is and that is not the place you want to be stopped. Everyone's going to have to cut the inside of that chicane. Well, I hope we get out of that. Okay. Oh boy. Thistlewood, I think there might be an invoice coming for you, bud. And that's brought Jensen right into the thick of it with Thistleweight, and Lele is laughing all the way into P3 though. And we've got some death happening at the hairpin, at a Boulderberg box, if you will. And having a look at the little replay, so here's Cam Thistleweight into the second chicane. I think he's just got a lot more speed and broke a little bit later. Having a look down the inside, and it's just not. It wasn't really on. It's too much entry speed for what Bubnow was doing. So Bubnow back down to 17th. That is rough. And we're getting a replay. I think this is what happened at the hairpin. Yes, it is. Oh, Layla Bell. Layla Bell hitting the back of... I'm not actually sure who that is, and that causes them to hit the car in front of them, which I think was Hislop.
I think the Mustang was Mr. Sweeney. Yes. Who's actually RTG'd. We'll see if what he decides to do, if he decides to call it a night or jump back into the race. But returning to garage, you're going to have to serve the time penalty, so you're going to be a lap or two down. So might just be there to spectate.
That was a rough one. I honestly found myself nearly doing that at the beginning part of the race. I don't know if it's just something about the game, the beginning of the race, the temperatures, but it felt like I could not get the car stopped nearly as much as I had been in practice. So I had to be really careful of that, and it looks like those two have just been caught out by a similar sort of thing or feeling.
It's definitely a skill to be able to race with other people, and obviously the Porsche is very good on the brakes, and plus the concertina effect and a bunch of other factors. It's definitely a talent to be able to do it successfully. That is an egregious amount of curb usage there from Monks.
Monk's making himself at home on those curbs. Ooh-la. So here we are with the replay of the start. So Mike Crick getting a penalty for that nudge on Penfold. But are we thinking out of position there for Lele? Squirmy.
He was a little bit close to Bob now, but I think it sort of sorted itself out, unless we're watching Thistleweight's overtake. There was a bit of a squirm there from Lele. As Thistleweight has jumped into the pits as well. Oh, my bad. I don't think Sweeney returned to garage. I think he just pitted, because he has cleared his pit as here we go. So 27.5, basically matching their quali times with race in race pace. So I think the track has definitely got to that latter stage of optimum, and the drivers are a bit more comfortable to push a little harder, and we're seeing that reflected in the lap times.
Yeah, so I think Sweeney actually copped a fair bit of damage from that. So probably just opting for the early pit, get in some clean air, just do what you can. And Thistleweight, I guess, deciding to go early rather than late, which is... we'll see how this plays out, Cotton. I'm not sure about that one, though, as we have the number 42 off at turn 2.
Oh no, Rondanella's saved it, but has lost a lot of time.
Those curbs are not your friends.
No.
So looking at a replay, Ben was really ready for this one.
Doink,
Oh
doink, doink.
boy, that was
He's done well. He's done well to pull that up.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
definitely could have been an exit stage right sort of situation.
for sure. I think all 4 wheels are off the ground there. That was a bit of a launch pad.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, I really like when you get that a little bit wrong and you know that you're taking a lot of curb on the second one. It's just like, oh boy, like you're holding that wheel and you're not even really steering because the wheels aren't touching the ground. It's just like, oh boy.
Yeah, you just gotta hope. We see Zach Jensen here up in P4, currently the lead pro-am. Granted, there is no other pro-ams have pitted, so he has a net lead in pro-am class at the moment. And I mean, 50 minutes to go, possibly a podium on the cards here for Mr. Jensen.
That is a commentator's curse if I've ever heard one. 50 minutes to go and you're calling a potential podium.
Well, I'm just saying, weirder things have happened.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of race to go. Hopefully he can keep it all together, all on the up and up. Now,
see, that's a curse.
What? We're in this together now.
Yeah, we can't. There's no blame. We've each put a hand on the wooden spoon, I guess you can call it, for commentator cursing.
Yeah. Nah, but that's mad. Well done, Zach. Keep it up. As we have lost another person, we had 18.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was just going to see if I could try and figure out.
Tenfold, I think. After that incident at the beginning.
Yes, I think that's correct. Oh, and there was a new fastest lap. Cameron Thistleway, 15-second penalty. So maybe that's why he pitted so early. He had damage. Just wanted to get it out the way, but it also means that he doesn't have to serve the penalty at the stop as well, which could actually genuinely be quite tactical. Granted, I understand you lose the same amount of time. Oh, hello. I understand you lose the same amount of time regardless, but sometimes you lose a bit more time because that 15 seconds extra in the pit puts you behind a couple cars, whereas serving it at the end, you don't have those same kind of gaps.
Yeah, I could see that. I just worry, I mean, it probably won't be an issue for someone of Cam Thistlewaite's caliber, but getting potentially blue flagged a bit and having to make way, you lose time.
Potentially, but I think
look how much open track he has. I think he'll be okay. Like, he does have the lead car behind him in Josh Holmes, but I mean, they're probably going to be doing relatively similar pace.
Yeah, or thereabouts. I doubt looks like Layla Bell drive-through for causing a collision on lap 1. Yikes.
That's rough.
I think that timing totem is going to start lighting up with the unfortunate reds. So we're back on board here with Hislop, currently on the back of Baker. GTR versus Porsche at a twisty track. It's going to be interesting. The GTR is pretty good on the curbs, but the Porsche will probably have the acceleration and whatnot. He gets a bit squirrely here. The GTR is going to have a run. Probably not enough to have a look into the final chicane. But he's going to get right under the rear wing. And he's just going to say hello. Fill the entire mirror in that brick of a car.
Oh, I'm just like waiting for that GTR, the power that it has. It's so quick on a straight, but I don't know if it's quite enough length. Oh, that's Sweeney behind them.
Yeah, but I don't think Sweeney's on the same lap as these guys.
No, he can't be.
Yeah.
Someone did point out what happened to David Marsh. He was leading AM class, and I believe he was like sniffing around the top 10 area, and now he's way down there, and he's not pitted, as Hislop is getting still really close. Oh, that is some curb and some, but that looks comfortable.
I did see Marshy as a yellow flag. I think it was in Sector 2 So
I
I
think
think he
I
might
actually
got
called
a
that.
bit of, yeah, I think he's got a bit of a help around, or he's got the unfortunate curb in the second chicane, but one of the two. If the broadcaster, Mr. Broadcaster Man, is so kind, if we're able to find a replay, as Layla Bell comes in to serve her drive through, they'll drop her easily outside the top 10, I would imagine. We'll see where she pops out.
If only I had your handy spreadsheet up of how long a drive-through is at this track. I didn't actually get that up. I think. What did you say? It was 27 seconds here?
Yeah, that sounds about right. 1 second. Oh, it's really small. Hang on.
As we are getting that replay now, this is David Marsh, I believe, in this purple McLaren, and we are going to see what happened.
Oh no,
Oi.
Yeah, bit of a snap.
Bit of that inside curb on.
29 seconds here. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. So, yeah, that hurts.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, the move's done.
Yep.
I said that looked comfortable. That didn't look that comfortable to me the second time over the second chicane, but it always just looks... It's like a seesaw. It's like up and down.
Yeah, so Bell has actually dropped all the way to 15th with that one. So from P5 to almost the back of the grid with that drive through. Just shows you how close Split Blue is as a field, that they're all within 29 seconds even after 15 minutes of the race. So
big slide for Tim Kung, just coming through their last chicane. And Bubnow might... Why is Bubnow down here? Did we miss something again?
Oh, this is some pretty good racing. I think he was caught up in an incident at the second chicane. I don't think I saw it, but I did catch just the end of it. As Kung is doing a very, very good job to defend here from Bubnow. This is some great racing we're seeing right now.
Coming into the first chicane. Oh, never mind. But we are seeing what's happening. God, Ben Hignett, you are all over. Oh my god, of course this is what happened to Bubnow.
Oh,
yeah.
Classic second. Oh my goodness, the amount of track cuts people might be getting by doing that. Oh no. The track does not care if you're... Oh, the cone. It's going
the cone.
The cone physics are pretty epic. I do really appreciate that by ACC, instead of just like phasing through them or something.
Okay, so we're back to live. This is live.
Yeah. And Bubnow has made a mistake. Yeah, big mistake. Look where Kung is now.
Oh yeah.
And he's got some angry pro-ams and ams behind him as well. So here we go. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Is he gonna thistle-weight Kung? Oh, he almost thistle-weighted Kung, and yeah, Well,
it went the right way in the end.
Yeah.
Didn't make contact, so props to him there. But unfortunately, yeah, that does drop him back a fair amount. Now he's back in the grasp of Hislop behind, who's in that mega powerful brick, the GTR.
Coming around, Lucien Bianchi walked, if you will. So Bubnow, a bit of work to do here. Josh Ohms, about 3 seconds up from Nathan Monk. So building that gap, it's not outrageous for nearly 20 minutes in. However, Nathan Monk's does have a mildly outrageous gap to Lele. So Nathan Monk's looking to extend that championship lead potentially, but Josh Holmes might be... What is the... It's 150 for first. Is it 130 for second?
Correct. So I believe Holmes will probably gain about 24 points on Monks as it stands, with their quali points and the fastest lap points, if they remain as they are at the moment. well, the fastest lap points, so like quali's been and gone, so those points stand. The 3 points for the fastest lap seems to be pretty safely in Josh Holmes' hands, especially at this point, but maybe when they change tyres and go out for the second stint, I imagine both of these drivers will. Monks has the gap behind to change, and the Mustang does like to eat the rear tyres a little bit. Holmes, on the other hand, depends on if he can pull that gap out to 5 seconds or not, or if he's going to bank on the fact that Monks is going to change tyres. It'll be interesting to see, but in another 11 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that gap increase to close enough. I'd say even if it's like low 4s, I would personally still change tyres. You're easily going to make up 8/10 on somebody that hasn't.
Yeah, for sure. So Hislop not letting Bub now get away. It's less than a second still between these two.
Oh, that's not going to help.
Yes, he's lost 3/10 as we come into the hairpin. GTR power, baby, send it.
Just, yeah.
Oh no, it's not actually happening, but I like to pretend. But it is another 3/10 down. We are getting pretty close.
Yeah, Hislop, pretty good driver. I remember watching, I believe it was him in Split Red, I think, last season. And I unfortunately, David Marsh going a little bit wide through turn 1 there. Turn 2? Turn 1. I wasn't paying enough attention, unfortunately.
I think that was turn 1. No, yes, turn 1.
One of the two.
Yeah, that Marsh doesn't seem to be gelling too much with that McLaren. What was he driving before, did you say? Sorry?
I think it was the Mustang, but don't quote me on that.
That is pretty different style of car, if I do say so myself. Nathan Wood has just copped a drive-through, I presume for track limits. That's rough.
Unfortunately, there was always going to be at least one victim. Yeah, I think there's been one victim in every split so far that I can recall.
On board with Layla Bell on her recovery drive, less than 3/10 to the back of Baker. It's, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's not the easiest track to overtake, so we'll see what she can do. She can make hay while the sun is still shining. But Wood serving that drive-through now. Neil Wood, it's not Nathan. Apologies, Neil. As Layla Bell gets that move done, just through the sort of between of T1 and T2. Nicely done.
Yeah, it looks like Bubnell is caught up to the back of Kung a little bit, but yeah, that GTR of his lot not going anywhere anytime soon. And then you've got Jay Sweeney just behind, although a lap down, still in the background there, a little bit off the GTR. So
yeah, Bubnell just bringing his lop along, so we're gonna have a little bit of a battle pack here. And as you're sort of saying, Sweeney not technically on the same lap, but you still have to navigate everyone potentially. Like, I mean, Sweeney would love to get ahead of them and get back on his way, but we'll see if that's a possibility or not.
Yeah, it will be interesting. It doesn't seem like he has the uber pace advantage at this point in time, sort of like sitting with them, like matching their pace. Like, he's not dropping off the back, but he's not gaining a whole lot either, so maybe that's strategic. Sort of just like driving to the cars in front so he doesn't have to overtake, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's, if you could go faster, then you are just losing that time potentially, but he's not in any kind of position to do anything about it. He can't I mean, he could pit, I guess. That would be insane. But he's just going to have to ride it out, really.
Yeah, I commend him for continuing on. It's never easy when you just get demolished on lap one to say, like, let's keep going as we go to a beautiful chicane cam.
Klein cam, if you will.
Yeah, because they're climbing the curb. No, that was terrible. I'll see myself out.
Oh, what was that joke you said earlier in the staff chat? We BS plus split or something? The shit we talk about.
Yeah, well, it certainly is premium BS. So
Yeah. Everyone needs to turn out next week so we don't have to talk this absolute garbage. But these guys are bringing it together. So the content is primed, locked and loaded. Bub, now give me your best around Tim Kung, please and thank you.
Yeah, we're going for round two with Bub between these two. And obviously Hislop's just there with his, like, he rubbing his hands together, like, okay. Just ready to pounce if these two maybe come together, lose a little bit of time battling as you inevitably do.
And even Sweeney's kind of caught up to them as well, so it's really tightening up.
As the gap ahead has opened up to 5.5 seconds, so Holmes, I assume, will definitely be changing tyres. There's no point not with that sort of gap. Same with Monks. Pretty big gaps up the top. Unfortunately, yeah, 5 seconds, then 8 seconds, then 8 seconds. And then Rondinella and Jensen are the next two closest cars.
So do you think if you're Lele, Jensen or Rondinella, do you not take tyres to try and get that advantage? I mean, as you sort of said though, if you're not going to literally get in front of them out of the pits, you're probably not going to make up that time on older tyres, are you?
No, but it's not easy to defend, I'm going to say, on old tyres, but at a track like Zolder, if you put your car in the right spot and you don't make a mistake, they can't really get past, unless they go for well, I mean, unless they pull off a good move like we saw Torfik and Aiden Squires last night. Aiden opting to not change tyres, came out in the net lead of the race, and was doing well to hold off the Ferrari, but then Torfik got a really good run out of the hairpin coming into the final chicane. Actually went around the outside, which you have to sit back in awe and just say, oh, that's just a good move. For my cricket fans out there, sometimes, for my cricket players out there, sometimes there's nothing you could have done to that delivery. Like, it was just a good delivery. You can't be upset. As we see, Bub now gets the run here. He's going to be well alongside coming into the braking zone of the second chicane, and he should get the move pretty well done. Kung is going to clip the rear of him, and he's going to get collected slightly by the GTR, and then a lot by the Mustang, and then Layla comes through, and just for good measure, gives him a little bump on the rear quarter panel. That's adding insult to injury there for Bub now.
That was rough. It's, as that move was sort of transpiring, I was thinking to myself, it's a difficult one to do. You're on the inside of the first part of the chicane, and then the outside of the second part, and then the inside of the next part. You have to have a lot of faith in your fellow racer to give you that space, and it's not even that easy to give someone space. Like, you have to slow a lot more than I think most people are used to, and you end up with something like that, really.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Kung should have just said, like, okay, this isn't, this move is done. I don't think it was really clever. To be fair, Bubnow does come across, but I guess Bubnow expected him to sort of back out of that, which would have been the smarter decision in that situation. But unfortunately, that's a bit just a bit of messy driving on both accounts.
Yeah, like, I think that almost perfectly encapsulates what I was talking about, in that Kung didn't really have a lot of place to go. Like he was already pretty across the middle of the second chicane without potentially actually cutting it. And then Bub now sort of coming back in because he wants to get a decent line through the last part of the chicane, and then they come together. We'll see what the stewards actually make of that one. And then Sweeney couldn't really do anything. The move transpired immediately in front of him, so unfortunately he just kind of smacked him. Layla Bell might cop a little something potentially for not slowing for yellows, but I'm not sure how fast that happened.
Yeah, I think we'd have to watch it on board, but I would have to agree there. It did seem like she had plenty of time to react, but we'll see what the stewards say. They have a lot more angles than we do here on the broadcast. As we're on board with Ben Kurz, who's unfortunately just lost the position to Steve Lewis. He's going to push him down to net P4 in Pro-Am class. With Mike Crick needing to serve that penalty, he's going to drop basically behind all of these guys, even behind Bell, I think. With how close the gaps are at this point in time. And I reckon we'll see the leaders start to jump in pretty soon, as well as we tick towards the halfway mark of the race. As Holmes has actually overtaken Thistleweight. There you go. So Thistleweight is now officially, well, technically a lap down, but obviously once Holmes pits, he'll drop back behind again. So
I was gonna say it's literally. I think you're about to say interesting dynamic. Like we came on board, I was like, oh yeah, Josh Holmes with Cam Thistleweight right behind him makes sense. It's like, wait, that's not exactly what this is.
So it's like the Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, the clip where they look like they're really close, but Hamilton's actually a lap down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is our roundabout pit time?
I think you're looking at about a minute, I think. So about 20-25 seconds. It's 29 seconds pit transit. So if you take the time to slow down, turn off the engine, wait for the air jacks to come up, it's probably about 3 seconds, and obviously to drop and start again. So I think we're looking about a minute. So 28 seconds for the actual stop and 29 seconds for the pit transit. So if my maths is right, it's about 57. So round up to about a minute.
So Cam Thistleweight is about a minute, a little bit more now, and then an extra 15 seconds down from Josh Holmes. No, what?
No, he'd be about 30 seconds plus the 15 second penalty.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. It's been a long day, everyone.
As Monks jumps into the pits, and we see a flurry down the bottom of the grid as well, or further down the grid, should I say, sorry. Crick, Kung, and Marsh all in the pits to serve their mandatory. As you see, jump on board on the pit exit. Layla Bell gets a 10-second penalty for dangerous driving on lap 5. So lap 5, I think that was the contact into the hairpin, if I'm not mistaken.
Where she hit the back of someone and they hit the back of someone else. She got a drive-through for that. Have they?
I think that the drive-through was for lap 1, something on lap 1. I could be wrong, but I think lap 5 seems to line up about right.
I mean, we're way past lap 5. That wouldn't have been what that was just then. Maybe it might have been something we didn't quite see either. But that she still has an invoice coming. That's pretty rough. I think.
Yep. Immediately responds to Monk's pitting by jumping into the pits. And it's a pretty it's a tough pit entry here, but it's nice in the fact that the second corner slows you down enough that you don't really have to worry about slowing down in time for the pit board. As long as you don't accelerate too much, you can basically just whack on the pit limiter and it slows you down in time regardless. So I quite like it in that regard. But yeah, the extra chicane, there wasn't enough on the track. They had to put one on the pit entry as well. Yeah,
I think it's pretty you have to be on the edge to be getting yourself some kind of penalty for speeding in the pit lane here. It really there's a pretty clear marker, that little notch on the left. Start slowing down there, you'll be slowed down easy. It's nice. But Layla Bell calling it quits for the night. I get it. I think was it last week before the break, she had a pretty rough run too with a couple of incidents, so it gets a little bit frustrating. David Marsh just getting out of the way for Nathan Monks now.
Yeah,
As
so
we,
see how this plays out. So Holmes leaving the pit lane now. He's going to be plenty ahead, I reckon. Yeah, so Monk's not even at the first corner just yet, and obviously the pit exit is at the apex of turn 2, for better or worse. Spits you right out, and the gap will wait for it to update, but I think it's going to resume just about where it was. I think they've both
yeah,
taken tyres, if I'm being honest. So
so Ron Danella just coming out of the pits as well. Lele, our provisional leader for the time being, but yet to pit. So
yeah, we'll see what Lele does. Really not really fighting anybody, to be honest. There's about 9 seconds ahead, 9 seconds behind. So he's sort of just driving his own race at this point. If I were him, I'd probably change tyres and just go like a bat out of hell for the second stint. Just see what I can do.
yeah, it does. It does get to a point though where I start to wonder if it's like you get too late in the race. It's like, am I actually going to get the most out of these tires now? What do you think that crossover point is?
I'd say, realistically speaking, probably within 10 minutes of halfway, either side, maybe even 7.5.
Yeah,
Obviously, halfway you get the most out of both tyres,
yeah,
but a little bit of an overcut, a little bit of an undercut can definitely work. I personally, at a track like this, I would say the undercut's pretty strong, especially if you're going to change tyres. You get a lap or two on fresher tyres. It really depends on how quickly your competitor responds to you pitting. As we see, Lele jumps into the pits now. So see what he opts for. But I reckon he'll come out in a comfortable P3 and continue to circulate for the remaining 24 minutes. But yeah, just going back to the tyre change, as I said, about, I'd say, yeah, 10 minutes at the most. You could probably go 40 minutes. And then you have 20 minutes at the end to go a little bit faster than you would with an extra 10 minutes worth of fuel. Especially here where you're looking probably about 15 litres, 20 litres. It's not going to be anything, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be anything insane. Like you might go a tenth or two quicker. But I think that's probably about the crossover. I'd say, yeah, maximum 10 minutes, probably 5 to 10 minutes on either side of halfway is probably where you want to pit if you're going to change tyres.
So Lele just drops now. So Monks is going to be pretty comfortably ahead of Lele. It looks like I think most of these gaps are going to be about what they were, really.
Yeah, so it looks like Thistleweight, 19 seconds behind Monks the last timing. I reckon Jensen, Lewis and Curtis will probably come out between himself and the top three. But you never know. We'll see what happens. It does have that 15 to serve as well, so it's obviously not going to be in that position. But I'm curious to see where he'll come out with that the Giga undercut. I assume he repaired a bit of damage as well, possibly. So that might have like skewed the results a touch, but still curious.
So Curtis staying out. We're approaching that edge of not taking tires that I was sort of prompting you about with Ben Curtis. Zach Jensen coming in now though. Steve Lewis is. Where are you, Steve? There's only 15 cars. I should be able to see. He's just ahead of these guys, so he's also opted to stay out one more lap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because if you're not going to change tyres, I mean, you might as well do it on the last lap, the pit stop, and get your screen time while you can, and possibly lead a couple laps. Or at least Steve Lewis possibly be leading a couple laps. He's actually leading the race now. So we'll see where Jensen comes out. Should be behind Lele. Yeah, so Lele is coming up to turn 4 now, and Jensen has just rejoined the track now at turn 2, so pretty fair gap. Wow, so Thistleweight actually gets the undercut done on Jensen, and Jensen was P4 if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
technically Thistleweight, bar the penalty, we've come out P4 with his undercut, so yeah, a fair effort.
It's a bit of an asterisk there with the penalty with notwithstanding.
Yeah, so even with like getting bumped or bumping Bub now, sorry, and losing a bit of time there, he's managed to get himself back up to where he qualified. Again, ignoring the penalty, which will drop him back a fair ways. I think he'll drop behind Crick, depending on when that time updates. Yeah, well, 26, he'll just be behind Rondinella then, assuming nothing drastic happens.
So, looks like Hislop's still in the back of Kung. We're still doing that.
Yeah, 3 tenths, 2 tenths.
Timing boards, I feel like are a little bit messy. Why have we got 3 people with none?
Yeah, it's one of my biggest gripes with ACC is that the timing tower and the relative on your MFD as well just take forever to update, to the point where sometimes if you're in an endurance race or something, you can't even see the next car because they'll cross the sector line before you do. You don't actually get to see the time ever. So there's a great tool called ACC Race Control, which gives you like live timing at all times, even across laps and stuff. So very, very useful tool, that one. And it shows that the game can do it, but just doesn't.
That would be a nice little quality of life improvement. As Ben Curtis is making that stop now, I want to know if he takes tires. I think that's really interesting. Steve Lewis, eat your heart out, mate. You're shining. You're a star, baby. You're a star in P1.
Look at that. You can tell everybody that he was P1 in our last Sprint Series race.
I don't mean to disparage him. He's having a very, very good race anyway, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. P2 in class, I think.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's. I hope it's not coming across that we're making fun of him or anything like that. Oh, some of these guys and gals really more adventurous on that second curve than I am. That's for sure.
Mate, I must have been doing something wrong, but I could not get the car to turn enough on the first one, or safely turn in enough on the first one to be able to avoid the second one. So I just had to take it, and
Really?
yeah, take it enough that I bounced enough that it wouldn't kill me. Because if you do too little, like only, it's hard to describe, but like it teeters too much if you take too little. If you take a little bit more, like it still teeters, but like it's more stable teeter. I really don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I must be doing something wrong. I'm curious to see what Lucas does later tonight and Split Red.
Between us, you won your race and I was P11, and I'm an AM driver, so I'll take your word for it. But I don't think the Lamborghini is like super great at it. Like, I would end up doing, as we see Lewis coming in for that pit stop with 17 and a half minutes remaining, the Lambo would do what Rondanella sort of did a lot of the time and get like 4 wheels off the ground, and it just bled so much time. So I guess it was probably like a slightly sharper line to just like really cut the first one nicely and then just clip the second one so we weren't taking too much.
Yeah, I did drive the Lambo here early last year. It was in the wet, so a little bit different, but I do remember it not being. I don't remember how I took the chicane in it, but I remember it obviously not being any Mercedes or Bentley or anything over the curb. But I
No.
mean, if you can do 60 minutes without getting too much bouncing and death, then whatever way you take the chicane is probably a good way.
Yeah, that's also fair. Can't argue with the results. I think as well, Josh Holmes preaches this in his academy walkthroughs, but I think especially when you're not, at the nice edge of speed in ACC, but taking lines and racing your race in a way that's consistent rather than potentially the fastest, I think is there's something to be said about that. You
Oh,
know,
100%.
like I mean, well, like
Yeah,
as we were sort of saying, like I did that whole race. I think I fucked it up like once, mind you, but like I had a good race, didn't die there, and stayed on the track, and it's a good result.
I think the same can be said about setups as well. I've heard about it from a couple of people, and I've had a couple of people myself that have sort of just like got the go setups or the high-mo setups from a mate or somebody in the community, and have just chosen like the most aggressive one and said like, okay, they can do like this insane lap time with it, I should be able to do the same thing. And then obviously it's low TC, like low wing, really aggressive, really pointy, and they're just struggling to drive it. And then you finally convince them to drive something that's maybe a touch, well, not maybe, is a touch safer, and they're not going to say improving their times, but they're certainly improving their consistency compared to like a fluke one lap sort of pace. So um, that's I guess where I stand on that sort of thing. But 100% agree with taking a safer line over perhaps the quicker line, especially for the newer drivers.
I mean, especially it has to be said, like in the race versus in qualifying. In qualifying, eat your heart out, like run that really really aggressive setup, and try and string it all together. Even for me, I like personally last night I ran the same setup for qualifying as I did for the race. It was just the fuel that was different. It felt good. I didn't feel like there was anything I could really change that was going to make it better. And I felt like I knew what the car was going to do. So that was that.
Yeah, 100%. I would actually be curious to test my race setup compared to my quali setup. So my quali setup had 10 wing, and it was a little bit wasn't the most planted compared to the race. In fact, I actually did a faster lap time in practice with race fuel than I did in qualifying last night. So I'd be intrigued to see. So the race setup was running max wing 12 compared to 10 wing of the quali. So I'm curious to see what I could do with the race setup with a little bit less fuel load. I think that'd be quite interesting. I have done that in the past, and I've actually been faster with the race setup on quali fuel than the quali setup on quali fuel. So definitely something for people to try at home. If you're finding that like you really like the race setup, but the quali setup's not so good. As you
As
see,
Curtis getting the move done, Crick just getting really, really deep into the hairpin. But sorry, I said the move's done. I'm speaking true soon as they're going to go side by side into this last chicane. But I do think Curtis is going to come out ahead and storm away with those wild stallions of the Mustang.
yeah. Crick's staying there, sort of showing the mirrors a little bit. I think that might be his line. He does like to sort of point the car towards the apex a little bit before the turn in. But yeah, nice move there from Curtis around the outside of the final chicane. Very nicely done.
It looks like he's struggling a little bit. I wonder if he didn't take tires. Like, yeah, there's a lot of corrections through what should be a relatively fast corner.
Yeah, potentially. He did have a 10-second or a 15. He did have a penalty against his name, so maybe he decided to sort of offset that. He was going to stick it out on the same set. Oh, look at the Bentley through the chicane. It does not care.
The timing tower does not allow me to see if Steve Lewis took tires. I'm going to ask him after the race because I'm genuinely curious. Going back to our really important podcast discussion, though, I actually I think I did faster laps in the race with race fuel than I did in the qualifying for split green as well. I do find, like, personally, I don't have like a lot of time to practice, so it's probably more like, hey, would you believe doing, at that point, like 40 minutes of laps, you start getting pretty good at it. but it is an interesting notion that you can like just string that together.
It definitely can be that sort of thing, especially for the newer drivers as well. I do find that a lot. But sometimes just doing a race, you figure out things that even if you did do a bunch of practice in quali, that you might not have found out, or you do find a little bit of time, because usually the race setup's obviously a little bit safer, a little bit softer than a full out balls to the wall quali setup. So you might be able to take a corner a slightly different way. Oh my goodness, the Bentley. Maybe I should try the Bentley.
Yeah, like, well, actually, like, speaking to that example, this chicane, I realized you could brake a good, like, probably 10, 15 meters later than I was and go through it, like, a lot faster. And it gave me, like, in the race, like, 4/10 of a second. And it's also, it goes without saying, like, when you're following behind people that are, well, like anyone really, but, like, people that are faster than you especially, though, you see what they're doing. Because it's like, how is this guy getting away from me at this chicane like every time? And it's like, well, because you're braking too early, dummy. So it's that's something I do quite enjoy about racing. Like that improvement that you get, like specifically in a race, is very satisfying.
Yeah, or when you figure out how to take a corner and you gain a bit of time and you can do it consistently, it's always a great feeling. As Josh Holmes runs a little deep there. Wow. That was
USA.
not far off. Yeah, that was not far off a little bit of a perpendicular meeting with Barry R. One tire on the grass. We're going to see a replay here. Oh. Yeah, they're completely under control.
I was going to say, it looked a lot tamer in cockpit than it did outside. It's one of those things, you'd be like, oh, what about that moment that you had in the race? You'd be like, what moment? Like, it probably didn't even register. So currently we've got Crick within a second of Curtis. We've got Rondinella close to the back of Thistleweight. However, it's a bit moot with Thistleweight still carrying that invoice. It looks like Tim Kung not as close as the boards would have had me believe a moment ago. But these guys are in danger of getting lapped, actually.
Yeah, that Bentley is getting pretty close. With that sort of gap, I would imagine Holmes is going to be fairly patient with these guys, especially considering they're battling for position. I know I certainly would. I'd give them a lot more leeway than, say, I had Glory right behind me. Yeah, these both pretty experienced, well, very experienced drivers at all last, so I can't imagine there'll be any issues letting Mr. Holmes through.
Do you think Josh Holmes feels the pressure because he's the Academy Series admin along with Mitch Hobbs? Shout out to Mitch Hobbs. That he has to behave like really, really well on the track now because he's like the example.
To an extent, yes. I still think obviously emotions fly and that sort of thing, and everybody makes mistakes. But it definitely helps if you set a good role model for your mentees in the Academy Series drivers. Just jump on board with a fairly dirty, I believe this is an Aston Martin.
This is Loopty. He's exploring those curves pretty thoroughly again.
Yeah, right on the back of Thistleweight. So granted, Thistleweight does have that penalty, so technically Loopty's got him already. Oh, that's pretty close. But I reckon he'll want to get it done on track. It's always nice, a little bit sweeter to get it done on track than cross the line.
Yeah.
And jump behind you with the penalty.
Thistlewaite's not the easiest person to get it around, but he I don't know. I mean, I think for me, like me, personal pride, I wouldn't let him through. I don't know. I think it depends. Like, if I could see Rondinella had someone, like you were sort of saying, like, if Lewis was very close to the back of Rondinella, I probably would, because they are having a very, very active race. But there is a little bit of personal pride, I guess, in that regard. Though with this away with the penalty, maybe should. I think that's kind of up for debate.
I reckon with 6.5 minutes, there's probably 5 laps to go. I reckon this away will probably try and hold on. And you know, Rondinella gets a bit of racing experience. They both get to have a little bit of fun, or he's just going to let him through. Okay, well, after that old TED talk.
Very, like, plain, mild, bland commentator's curse just then.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Mitch Hobbs and Joms for taking on the mantle of the Academy series. I think it's really cool what they're doing. Like, it's a bit more involved. When I was in the Academy, not to disparage anyone that was running it then, but it was pretty, like... there wasn't, like, a lot of attention put on it, and it was also pretty... Yeah, it was pretty quiet as well. Like, we had the 2 splits. And people are a little bit goosier with showing up for Academy, because a lot of people are pretty casual at that point. And, you know, shout out to Chris Taylor. He was our race director for a lot of it. He did a very, very good job, and he was very easy to talk to when you did have sort of something going on. And Matt Powell too. But it's nice that there's people, like, specifically tending to that, because I do think, like, league racing is really, really awesome. Like, I enjoy it so much, but it's nice that there's like people like watching over them and kind of encouraging good racing, good habits, and like good community spirit kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. The Academy series is a great little startup, and obviously with the size of OOR, there's plenty of people that are more than happy to help as well. I see a lot of the sprint drivers not only doing the practice races on Sunday nights after the track walks, but also happy to share setups, share their experience, share their knowledge about the game with the drivers that are just starting out in ACC. It's really cool that the Academy series, there is a space for those people to go and race against people that are about their pace, instead of just being thrown into the deep end with some of the quickest guys in the region. So I think that's really cool. And then obviously you can learn racecraft in a safe environment. There's no big penalties. There's no championship pressure. Obviously you still want to perform well, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. So I really like the Academy startup, and I encourage anybody who is in that boat in the chat to sign up, give it a go. You'll be surprised just how much you can learn. I know personally I didn't have track walks like the guys put on Sunday nights, but the track walks you can find on YouTube as well helped me drastically when I was starting out in ACC, and just like learning the tracks and starting to get quick. So 100% shout out to Mitch Hobbs and Joshua Holmes and everybody else who helps out with the Academy series, because they do amazing work. So
just sneakily, Cam Thistlethwaite letting Rondinella through has actually... He's gonna have to work hard here, but he's pretty close to Zach Jensen. Our commentator's curse may come to fruition in the end.
We'll see.
I mean,
3 laps to go, 2 seconds. I did notice that, so maybe that's why Thistlethwaite let him through, because he thought maybe Rondinella has a shot at Jensen, but we'll see what happens here.
Nice blue flagging there from, I think that's Wood back there. That would be Wood. I don't think Lewis is that far back. Igor singing some high praise to Jones with just, he's alright.
Not even alright, just a bit of alright.
not even all the way alright.
Yeah. He's 90% left.
Hey, that was something.
Somebody cue the soundboard. Budum.
Yeah, BS plus here tonight.
Yep, you know it. Thank you.
Was that over the stream or just in Discord?
I hope that was on the stream.
I hope that was on the stream. Benny Hignett played us at but if it wasn't.
I wonder where that comes from. Somebody in chat probably knows why the badumts is typically, traditionally associated with a terrible joke.
So Rondanella's picked up 3/10. Am I correct in saying that? He's gonna need to pick up a lot more than that if he wants to get on here. Wait. Oh, we're on board with Rondanella. That's Jensen. That looks closer than 1.5. My eyes deceive me. Come on, Luke D. I need content. Oh, Luke D. No. I mean, I guess that's content in one way.
I think all that 3/10 that he just gained is probably gone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately nullified itself with that little expedition.
Yeah, that Thistlewade playing in the sandbox too. Especially that corner, you touch that sand. And like in Zandvoort, the last corner, you can touch the sand a little bit and it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not great. Here, I feel like it kills you. Like, it kills you immediately and then all the way down that straight. It's really bad.
Oh yeah, it's like it's got like glue between the particles or something. As long as it gets a little squirrely coming through turn 1 once again. This will be the final lap that he's on now, as the timer ticks down to 0. So I think, unless he disconnects or something, definitely not a curse. Or do that.
That is something to say on the last lap.
He's got a pretty comfortable gap back to Monk's 13.5 seconds. I thought I saw before it disappeared. So very, very comfortable gap.
Yeah, very, very commanding performance from Josh Holmes, Josh the Jamwise Holmes himself, and Monks and Lily again with a good showing. Not quite the dub, but on the podium, had to be happy with that.
It's going to be interesting to see how how the championship develops actually with this. Josh Holmes isn't going to catch them, but he's only going to be about 20 points off of Monks, and he might actually catch Lele. He'd be pretty close to Lele. I think he'll be about 10 points behind Lele in the championship. So as he comes across the line here, flashing the lights, swerving back and forth. Very well done, Mr. Holmes. Very deserved win. Absolutely rapid all race. As Monks rounds the final corner now to take the checkered flag, take home a very commanding second place, and we'll have to wait a little bit longer for Lele to cross the line in his stained glass window Aston Martin. As that should be him coming. Yes, the checkered flag is out again, so this is Lele coming across the line to round out the podium there, with Kung not too far behind in 11th, so just off the top 10 there. Hislop and Crick, 5/10 between them. Bub now comes across the line to take 12th. Very unfortunate race for him. Jensen comes through. He holds on to the Pro-Am lead. Just behind him there is Jaden Rondanella, about 2.5 seconds down the road. Thistlewade doing a bit of swerving as well as he comes across the line. It's P6 at the moment. That's going to be... We'll find out in a second when Lewis crosses the line. Actually, it's going to be P7 at worst for Camp Thistlewade, so that's not a bad showing whatsoever. Curtis and Crick have already crossed the line, so he won't drop behind them because there'll be a lap down. So Lewis comes across the line. I'm pretty sure that's been about 15 seconds, so he might even... Yeah, he's going to hold P6. Thistlewade in the end, even with the penalty. So a fair showing from him. Unfortunately, had a bit of a contact with, I think it was Bub now, in the early stages of the race, but to come back for P6, pretty good showing, and he'll keep him in the championship fight as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a pretty good recovery drive considering that real early pit stop paying dividends. Especially like as we were sort of discussing, pretty sure he fixed up some damage too, and he wouldn't have taken tires that early, so he ran the whole race on one set. Not
Yeah.
bad, Mr. Thistleweight.
And we have some nice fireworks over the wind turbines to signal that the race is over.
Stick around. There's going to be a small break. Oh, Neil Wood.
There we go. Bit of
Lovely
intermission
stuff.
there.
Uh, there's going to be a small break between the splits. I believe we're going to be handing over to Sean Muller, and I don't actually know who the other person is. There was a
I think it's Loopty. I think it's Jane Ronanella.
okay, good stuff. Do you want to run us through our results, please, Mr. Ellis?
I can do that. So overall, Crick unfortunately was not P1. I think we're still in the free practice session.
Mr. Hignett, can we please have the race results?
There we go. So Joshua Holmes takes out the win, sorry, with a commanding victory. Monks and Lele round out the podium, and first and second in silver class as well. Bub now actually takes P3 in silver class after everything that happened tonight. Unfortunately, a couple of the other guys in silver class having worse races than himself. Looking at Pro-Am, we have Zach Jensen takes out the win, holds on at the end there from Rondinella, and Lewis comes home to take out third. And then we have our two AMs, Marsh and Baker. Yeah, so who was your driver of the day, Blake?
I think I'm going to give it to Zach Jensen. I think that was a really, really good drive, really mature drive, and they're going to be pretty damn happy with that result. How about yourself?
You can't go past Zach Jensen, but another one that I'd put up there is Holmes. Really consolidated his good performance in qualifying. Came home for a dominant victory. So between those two, I'd put them both together. Maybe Zach Jensen just a little bit higher.
I do think you run into that Max Verstappen-esque thing where if you're very, very dominant, it feels a little bit dull to pick the the extremely dominant driver, but it was an extremely good performance from Joms. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. As I said, please stick around. Split Red promises some racy action later on. Breno, thank you very, very much for joining me in the booth tonight, and thanks to Ben Hignett for being on the cameras. Have a good night, everybody.
Gotcha.
Welcome back, everyone, to Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series. We are back in the season of sprint racing after our magnificent Bathurst 12-hour, and we are at the best racetrack in Belgium, the one and only Zolder. Absolutely brilliant racetrack, this one, real old school. And joining me in the box is the one and only Jaden Rodinella. Very good evening, sir, and a very nice race by you in Split Blue.
Good evening. It was a difficult one. I felt pressure the whole time, but there was a bit of gaps, especially with those incidents at the start. Hoping for none of those incidents at the start of this split red race. So it should be on for a good one. Are we about to get straight into the race here? Is this quali still?
I think we're still in quali at the moment, but quick recap of the race tonight. So it is a 60-minute race with a mandatory fuel stop. The fuel dump will be 25 seconds. You do not have to take tyres, but the general consensus with a lot of the drivers I've spoken to is you will be taking tyres because the tyre wear is quite significant here at Zolder. A lot of curbs, a lot of bumps. So you really got to be, if you can treat your tyres nicely, I think there's definitely positions to be made.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of fast drivers in the split. Lucas Keys is out tonight, so that's one that they won't have to worry about. But they've also gained a new driver in there with, lunching. So Chris Murphy's in there tonight, I believe driving the Porsche, so he's going to be a powerhouse. I'm interested to see how he does in split red as well.
Well, he's in a Porsche, should be fine. So, recapping the championship, it is Lucas Keys leading the way from Rahali, Shady Samuel, Jean-Pierre Sinikis, Josh Struik and Fahidi Rashmat. And then in Pro-Am, it's Salvigio leading the way from Gubby, and then Ahmad Jasmine. And then in Silver, it is Carl Johnson leading the way from Robbie Underwood and Zach Warren. And in M class, it is the one and only John Gormley leading the way down there in AM from, I believe that's Miles Johnson and Luke Wingard. There are your top three in AM. So great to see all drivers. There's still plenty to play out in this championship. A long way to go. We've still got 2 rounds to go. So Salvagio drops to the top of the timesheets there with a 28.3. We are expecting 27s. I have heard a slight whisper of a 26, but I think they were getting a bit too excited.
I don't know. I've seen some of these drivers doing some practice, and they are definitely on for a 26 if they're able to pull it out tonight. But the weather, I believe, in the qualification is a little bit warmer than the practice service, so we will see how that does go and transpire. Now, Johnston here, I believe, yeah, he's new to the sprint series within OOR, but from what I've seen of him practicing, he is a very, very quick Aston driver. Kind of scary.
Well, yeah, he jumped straight into silver class, so he skipped Pro-Am and Am, and he's straight into silver, so he must be a pretty speedy boy.
Look, if he wasn't in red, I'd say a jump straight to pro would have been in order for him, but look, there's a few drivers out here, and here is Brock Godfrey. I've also watched his practice in that Honda. He's pushing it so hard. He was very quick.
Brave man taking the Honda around here.
I think this is his second most driven track, apart from Bathurst, which is kind of obvious for most drivers in the OCE region. So him pulling that Honda out is an interesting choice for Zolder, but I wonder how well it does take that chicane.
He's actually doing quite well. He's on a very good lap. He's nearly a second up on his best time, so this is going to shoot him straight up the leaderboard. Godfrey here, a Pro-Am as well, in the Honda. And where does this put him? Straight to second. Beautiful lap there from Godfrey. That was a fantastic lap. It is for Harley leading away in the BMW with a 27.64. So we're already in the mid-27s. Where is Keys tonight? Well, we don't know. So apparently Lucas Keys has a life outside of sim racing. Who would have thought?
Lucas Keys went to a concert. You'd think he actually left the house once. That's crazy. Never thought that.
Oh, no. Nuts. I'm sure he'll be back next round ready to do what he does best, the kid. But hope he is having a wonderful evening. But we should still have a fantastic race. All the big players are here. There is the purple Ferrari of one Jean-Pierre Sinikis. And there's Joshua Struik, just pops into second position there. Nice job from the rookie in the Pro Series. Or Sprint Series Pro. We'd probably call this Sprint the Pro Series, couldn't we?
Oh, especially it being split red. Look, I don't know. I don't want to start any debates on which split is better, but it is definitely got some very, very pro drivers, almost alien pace drivers in this split. So you've got to be fair, a wide array of drivers. Now, how many do we have out here tonight? I don't remember seeing how many we actually had.
I know we got over 23. There we go. Thank you to the one and only Benjamin Hignett.
Way more than split move, yeah. So, that is a...
Here's Sneakers. Where's he go? Straight to the top. Of course he does. 27.5 for JP in the huge erection of Ferrari. Lovely lap that one. And Godfrey, though. Godfrey's a surprise to me as Murphy pops into 10th position. No, 4th position now on the Porsche. Nice job, Lunchy. Very close times as well. Look at that. Only 200ths off JP's time. So really close up the top. Godfrey's still holding there in 5th. Johnson in 6th. Salvigio there in 7th. And Robbie Underwood there in 8th at the moment. They are your top 8. We've got Eamon just left in qualifying.
But even look at that. Look how close they are currently in time. Like, there's not even a second between 1st and, 8th so far. So we're going to see Relahi still putting on an improved time. That current delta there is better than Sonicus. So we will see if he can keep that up and maybe even improve it more as he's edging onto the 3/10s up. But then you've also got Johnston back here, who's about to move up a few, maybe one position. Yep, into 5th position, which is a good spot for the Aston. And Relahi's pulled over. I'm wondering if something's happened there on his lap. Maybe he's messed it up a little bit.
Maybe. As we're looking at Johnson as he comes down in through the cutter block. I'm going to try the corner names tonight. I'm going to actually have a crack at them and see how much I can actually butcher him. Is Godfrey here at the moment? He's really up on his lap. He lost a lot of time there, though, at the Clone Chicane. Just couldn't get the exit or the Jackie X block, as they call it, or Jackie X chicane. We'll just go, and you can just see it bounced a little bit the Honda, which lost all his drive and traction going across the finish line there. But still in 4th position. Really solid drive here from Godfrey. Looking very strong. Here's Gobby at the moment in the Mustang and just flies up to 9th position. He'll be pretty happy with that.
Do we want to talk about how there's only less than 3/10 between the top 5 at the moment?
Well, that's right. It's a super competitive split.
Yeah, Lunchy fitting right into the split red competitiveness, pushing on. I'm kind of glad he wasn't in my split tonight because I think it would have been pushed back a couple positions. But no, this is looking like it's going to be a close, at least qualifying. You never know with a race. This track is decently hard to pass at. There is a few passing opportunities.
Godfrey's flying.
But look at that, 2/10 up currently. He's only 2/10 behind the 1st place. So this is very close.
Well, if you can keep that sort of 1/10, 2/10 up on this lap and actually nail the Jackie X chicane, he is on for close to a pole position here because he's only got to find 2.5 or 0.2.5, I should say. So he's just got to get this chicane absolutely spot on here. Flicks it in, clips the apex. Now, this exit is so important. Much nicer exit, but again, just loses a little bit of time there. So, unfortunately, that's going to keep him in 4th. He's got another run at it. He's going to have another crack, or is he going to pull in the pits and get a fresh set of boots? I reckon he'll pull in. So, looking here at Johnson, who is right on here for a provisional pole at the moment. This lap is looking very good. Flicks it in now. Really poor. Take as much curb as you dare. He's finding time everywhere here. Johnson's on an absolute flyer.
Is there a chance if he does this next few sectors as well, he could have a steady lead here for the qualification? He's currently, that is some better braking into the hairpin. He's gained a whole 10th in that hairpin.
Now it comes down to the Jackie X chicane. Really important. Get your braking absolutely spot on here at the 100-meter board. Slam on that pedal. Tip it in, clip the apex, and you want to flick it across, not take too much of that curve because it will unsettle the rear. But this is going straight to the top of the timesheets. Johnson has came here and just said, I have arrived with a 27.3. That is a mega lap.
And that certainly opens up the whole top 5. Now it's a bit more of a time gap between the top 10, splitting it up a little bit. Here we got Struick, another driver in the Aston in the top 10. And now the Aston's supposed to not be too strong here, but I think that minus 16 kilo bop is definitely giving it some weight on those straights. Oh, he's returned to the pit, so obviously had a little bit of an issue there. But that is Johnson moving up into 7th in the Porsche. That's 2 Porsches, 6th and 7th. I think you're happy with that, aren't you?
Oh, I'll take that. Of course, Carl has been in the Porsche all season, and he seems to have got his head around it as well. He's very speedy in it. Here's JP now. He's about to start his flyer. So this will be very interesting to see what JP's got here. He's got to find 200s, which is pretty easy to do around here. Just got to basically nail the chicane. There's your 200 right there. Just watching this guy go at it. One of my absolute favourites, JP, is. So smooth on the wheel and just one of the best races in OLR. He is a legend around these parts. Flicks it in now. Just warming up this lap. I reckon this won't be his absolute fly. I reckon the next one will definitely be when he'll uncork it.
Yep, no, that's fair, because look, it's about the third lap that you get the most.
Oh, he yeeted that. Here's Godfrey. It was looking really good there, Godfrey, for sort of a top 3, maybe a top 2, but Johnson's laps just put a real cat amongst the pigeons. And I think a lot of the drivers are probably thinking, who the hell is this P. Johnson? Where's he come from?
That is one way. Sorry, that's one way to introduce yourself into the Sprint Series.
Yeah, it's like, hi, Split Red, I'm here. Here's Rahali. Lost a lot of time. That Jackie X chicane is so difficult to get right. And I find it's the one place on the track you never feel like you really truly nail. And it's such an important corner because it leads onto the straight, which will then dictate your speed through all these sections. That's how vital that corner is. Lovely through there though, Rahali. That was nice. Beautiful apex.
He looks like he's driving that so smoothly. You'd think he wasn't driving that like a madman, probably. Out here trying to do these fast times. Just getting very close to that sand. That's probably the closest you want to get to there before you start losing time.
Now it's a climb. Lovely. Yeets it. Yeah, yeets it too much. Around she goes. And right there's an example when you get a little bit too greedy. Here's Shady Samuel now. 0.3 up on his best lap. Got to find a little bit more here, Shady does. Really important for the championship. He's currently third in the championship at the moment, so he's going to have to uncork a little bit here in this Mustang and just see if he can find a bit of time. Nice through Jackie X. That was a lot better. So he's half a second up now in his best time. This will move him up the leaderboard, definitely. Up in the 5th. Nice job, Shady. Now, he's got one more in him, so I reckon if he can go quicker, watch Shady really make a late charge here. Looking here at Savogia at the moment, currently in the 10, in the McLaren. Not the strongest car around here. The rumours and the talk is in the pit lane. But Salvaggio has proved this season that he is a very steady operator, currently leading the Pro-Am Championship, and quite comfortably as well.
And look, this is going to definitely make it harder for those people fighting for the championship at the moment with these newer drivers in. It's going to put a lot more pressure on them to drive almost perfectly because you've got a lot of good drivers in here tonight, and not only tonight, but every night. So,
It's Stefano in the Ferrari. Oh, Stefano's in a Ferrari. What is going on with Stefano at the moment? Changing cars. Not used to it. Up on a very good lap though. 0.4 up. Looking very nice. This will move him up the leaderboard as well. And he's got time for one more as well. So he's really up to 8th now. Lovely lap there from Rashidi. And he's got one more lap. So can he really send it? Back here with Shady now. 0.2 up. Here comes Shady. It was pretty quiet this early in the session, but he's just starting to wind it up now in the big Mustang. And he's got time for one more as well. This is it, clutch time.
It's going to be a very big lap for that Ford. Of course, it can probably just cut that whole chicane pretty easily. Still dangerous as it is in most cars, but even here you're seeing Relahi with almost 2 tenths up, only 3 tenths behind first. So he's currently looking to get up there into first, maybe even second with Sonicus in the pits, Johnston in the pits as well. So it's going to be
more than second. This could be pole here. Rahali's 0.3 up. Can he find a little bit of time through the final chicane now? Lovely. Does he get a nice exit? He's absolutely nails the exit. This is going to be so tight for pole position. Has Rahali done it? He has a 27.290. What a lap from Rahali.
That was close.
It's got a replay here of a dead Porsche doing Porsche. Oh no. Oh, that's not great.
Relahi did do that on that lap where the cars spun in front of him and he's managed to avoid it. So that's a good time for that. And we are seeing here Shady. Two
Yep,
tenths.
Shady's up. 2 tenths, nearly 3 tenths. Can he find something? Can he find that extra tenth just to force maybe get into that sort of third, second position? Oh, he loses a lot of drive on the exit though. That's going to hurt. It might move him up a spot or two, but it does up to fourth. Wow, there we go. So Rahali takes pole from the newcomer Johnson. Sanikas in third, Samuel in fourth, Rashidi in fifth, Godfrey in sixth, Struick in seventh, Murphy in eighth, ninth, Robbie Underwood, 10th is Carl Johnson, who's Salvigio, and Gobby just outside the 10. That was a pretty good qualifying session. I enjoyed that.
And we've seen what these drivers can do in qualifying, but now it is the time to see what they can do out on the track. An hour-long race, 60 minutes. This is going to be a very long one. It's a hard track to pass at, so it's going to matter a lot where you are. The gaps in split blue were quite a big, especially in the top three. So, yeah, we're looking for a very... I'm thinking this one a close race. At least
I think it'll be close as well. We've got a lot of different manufacturers as well, which is great to see. Which is what I enjoy. Looking here at Struick's livery, I haven't seen this before. What's Geesh done here?
See?
Nope, wrong one.
Aston.
That's Stefano. Not the other one. Not the Aston. There we go. Thanks, Ben. Oh, that's very nice. Ah, it's got Distinct on it, of course. Of course, Josh is part of the Distinct organisation.
That's a really nice looking livery.
Oh, is that Wallace and Gromit? Yeah.
Beautiful. Who's driving that car tonight? Is that Eagle? I'm feeling that's Eagle. You got
Yeah, we'll go with Eagle.
Gobby and Gormley and their Mustangs. I believe that's both of them, just one after the other on the left there. That's the Honda of Annie, I believe, on the left as well. A little bit of
It is, yes. Oh, that's a play on an old school JGTC car. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Annie. Very nice job.
That's looking really good tonight.
Oh, that's bright.
An OR livery. That's looking very nice. A Red Bull OR livery.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's a Red Bull livery. Oh dear.
Kovac's. I'm going to say it's Kovac's green Porsche.
Yep.
Who drives that car?
Is that Pudley? I think that's Pudley. Top of my head.
Very beautiful looking tonight. So yeah, again, a bunch of nice cars. Oh, there's the other. I'm going to say that's Gormley there on the right. Yep, the 666. That is John Gormley. Decent driver. Not very great at not getting DTs.
Yeah. Wow, drive-by.
Sure, that's our guy.
I'll make sure I tell him that as well. Watch it back on stream. Yes.
Simpsons on that last Mustang. But we're about to get ready for our formation lap. This is going to be some good racing. I'm very excited. Please no crashing. Not trying to curse it.
Exactly. And you are watching the Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series Round 4 Split Red from Zolder. And of course, a big thank you does go to Simrigs.com for all your sim racing needs. And they've just brought in, the Mustang GT3 rim from the actual real car. So they've got that now. If you don't care about money, you can go buy yourself one. And of course, if you're on OOR Patreon, you will get a cheeky 5% discount. So a big thank you to Simrigs.com for all your sim racing needs. Oh, look, what a shot that is. God, I love that shot.
I do want to point out very, very quickly, Murphy's doing a pit stop.
Oh.
Murphy did not press drive. He was in, I believe, 8th position. So I think because he sort of 5, he's gone, or 7th, I believe. Oh, yeah, 8th. He's gone and done a pit start. So this will be an interesting one. I feel like it might be the strategy to play, especially in such a competitive split. Everyone's going to be pretty close at that start. You're going to be more likely for a crash there, but hoping not to see one.
So with him going to the pits there, can he actually do that 25-second drop, or does he have to start from the pit lane? He's didn't start. What's happened there?
So he'll start from the pit lane, and then he'll end up at the back of the pack, which will actually probably work out well for him, because then this will decide when he's going to pit, because I wonder if he's going to try to go for it, come straight out and then pit again, but I feel like they'll put you in a field of blue flags.
Yeah, it's quite a long pit stop. It's 60-second transit time pretty much from entry to exit. So you've got to be really have your head and your wits about you, because if you pit the wrong time, you are going to go a lap down, which around here is not a great thing because it is virtually impossible to get past someone. As they grid up now, split red about to get underway for round 4 from the best track in Belgium. It is Zolder, old school classic track, just a tick over 4 kilometres. Some absolutely gnarly curbs to deal with. An absolute tyre killer as well. That was very, wow, I don't know what happened there. So maybe Peach went in a bit too deep. It looks like they're all going to grid up. Make sure you drive through your pit box as always. And they're going to head down to this really tricky first turn, which is known as Est, or East. And we're just waiting for the control flag. And we are racing in split red in round 4 as I head down now. Looks like everyone's got a lovely start. Rahali leads the way. Oh, he's got a little bit wide. That's going to check him up. Johnson and Peach are right there. And is it JP? He's going to try and go around the inside, but it's Johnson. Johnson on his debut in split red is leading the way. Unbelievable. What a start from Johnson. Incredible. But he's got one of the most seasoned operators right on his hammer. It's the multi-time champion, JP. Rahali's there as well, but Rahali's in full defence mode. He's got Shady who wants to have a bit as they head into the chicane now. Does everyone go through cleanly? How many go the full yeet? Oh, look. Oh, in the background, and he's got hit from behind there, one of the BMWs. That has not gone well. Back up the front now. Here's Rahali. He's got Shady there. Struik's there. Brasciuti's there. Line astern. All very single line stuff through here. And then they flick it through. Really tricky part of the track, this one. You got to break it nice and straight now into the boulder block. Clip it across the apex. Don't take too much of that outside curb. It does ruin the rear traction. But it is Johnson still leading the way. Everyone gets through nice and cleanly. Great to see. But back up the front. On board with Shady Samuel now. Heading into Jackie X, and look at Brasciuti, he looks racy. He wants to get past in that Ferrari, but unfortunately the Mustang now unleashes its party trick. On board here with Brasciuti. And that is lap 1 in the books. What a great opening lap.
A very great one. I believe we did see someone in the wall a little bit on one of the sharper turns. Probably went a little bit too wide coming in with a high speed, especially I believe it was after the second chicane, so that's going to be a decent push through there. But that was a great first lap and a great first lap call by you. So very, very excited for this one. The gaps are starting to open up. There's a little bit of times. Ralahi making a little bit of a gap on Shady already, over a second in front. Johnston pulling away from Peach just a little bit, 5/10 up.
Well, Struik looks like he's had a problem as well, because he's down there in 9th position, so he was up as high as 7th there. So he's definitely had a little bit of an issue. We might catch up. Yeah, so that might come with a bit of damage as well, but it's an Aston. You could drive that thing in a brick wall and it'll still drive around track. Johnson leading away from Sneakers. Rahali, Shady and Brasciuti just dropping off the back a little bit. Not a lot, but enough to make him a little bit nervous. We have seen Shady though. Shady does come strong towards the back end of a race. So if he's thereabouts, definitely keep an eye on that Mustang. JP now, 2nd position, 0.6 off. We've seen, how many times have we seen this, Loopty? Like seriously, from JP?
Oh, way too many times at this point. He's like, I am full belief that he'll be able to at least keep up with Johnston. And again, it's a very difficult track to pass at, so we'll see. Oh, here we got a replay. I believe this earlier on.
So it's Godfrey in the Honda. That's Gormley. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. Yeah, no worries. Oh, has he got that done? He has got that done. What a move. Oh, is that up the inside? Who was that in the Mac? It just slides it up the end. That's Salvaggio. What a move. Oh, wow. That was a brilliant exchange.
Few people sneaking past that Bentley there. So that was, yeah, a very, very good exchange. Is that Underwood in that Bentley?
Oh, it is Underwood, yes. So Underwood's running the Wallace and is it the Wallace and Gromit themed Bentley this evening?
We have our first death at the first chicane. Just calling it out right now. Somebody has crashed
20.
at the first chicane.
Is the 26 there, so we're just going to double check on that. That looks
Braid.
like Braid, yes. So Braid's unfortunately had a bit of an issue. He's Joshua Stroke. Now, what's happening here with Josh? So, because I did say that he dropped behind. Oh, he's just caught too much of that curb, and it's just fired him into the wall, and that is 4 or 5 positions gone in a heartbeat.
As well as saying, look at this, already catching up to the 27s on their, their third lap in. So 3 laps in and they're already almost in the 27s. This is heavy fuel loaded cars. I think 60 litres in the Aston is the play. So it's very, very strong pace. Sonicus, though, not letting him go, only half a second off. With Ralahi really not that far behind as well, so they're pushing along strong that top 3. Shady's dropped off a little bit, 3 seconds behind Ralahi at the moment, with Rashudi right behind him in that Ferrari there. The Ferrari definitely a strong play here at Zolder at the moment, it seems. And Godfrey a second behind that battle.
I was just saw in the foreground there that Rahali was looking pretty racy there on JP. Here's a replay of the start, and this will give us an idea of sort of what's happening. So Rahali got off the line quite well. Johnson was very good there on the outside. Peach was quite nice, and Riley just ran it deep, and then Johnson said, I'll have some of that. And then JP said, yeah, I'll take some as well. And then around the outside goes Godfrey. That is bold. Didn't hold on to it though, but I love the play and I love the effort. That is very brave from Godfrey in the Honda as well. That is a huge move, but all in all, a very clean start from Split Red. We've kind of come to expect it. Back with live action now. It is Johnson leading away from Sneakers. Nearly a second off the pace. Rahali is right there. These top 3 have drove away from the field here. Shady's got to find something, but he's got too much. He's got more work to do with Rashudi. Rashudi is right on him here. Just looking at sort of Rashudi's car as well. He wants to get past Shady as quick as possible.
Yeah, they're definitely some pushing going on there. Ralahi and Johnston both setting fastest laps there. Very, very close times as well. I believe there was not even 100th in it, maybe even just about over 100th in it. So they're both pushing on very strong. It's looking very, very good. Rashudi obviously right up behind Shady Samuel at the moment. They're getting a little bit of pace again, it seems. It looks like they're starting to catch back up to the top 3 group. They're taking the chicane very well. I don't think I had a good chicane run once tonight, so it is good to see that some drivers can do it.
Yeah, exactly. More basically the ones with the white badge can do it.
Yeah.
So now, another thing to keep in mind as well. So to take tyres, it's 5 seconds. So if you just go for the fuel drop, you're going to lose 25 seconds. You'll be stationary. If you take tyres, that adds a 5 seconds on top. Now, the key thing to remember here, does Shady and Rashudi think they don't need to take tyres? And they're just keeping that gap. Whoa, Rashudi, that was very close. That was very close to Jackie X there. Got right up behind Shady. Lucky not to pile in the back of him, but pulled it up. And he'll fight another day. And what a great battle there between the Pro-Ams as well. Godfrey and Salvaggio in 6th and 7th. And they are holding on to these two as well. So, mega drive from those two.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of good driving out there across the board. Even some AMs having very close battles at the back there within the AM class. Starting to split up a little bit though as well. Yeah, it's pretty close field still with a lot of the cars out there. There's not many more that have over a 2-second gap, so it's still a very, very close race, all things considered. But going back on what you were saying before with the tyres, I do think that they're all going to take tyres, and it's purely for the fact that this track, especially with the temperature changing down, the graining gets very, very bad. You do start to feel it at about the 30-minute mark that your car does start to slip out. So I'm going to say tyres are the option.
There you go, heard it here first. Tyres are the option. This is what we do in our, we get all the best information from all our drivers. It allows us to provide our viewers with all that important information. This is, oh, Peaches run deep! Peaches run deep! Oh, it's a chicane. That's really hurt him. It's going to hurt his top speed. Rahali's going to have a bit of a sniff here. Look at the speed differential. Rahali now right up behind JP, but JP goes full defense mode. That is why he's a multi-time champion. He saw that coming and he just placed that car absolutely perfectly on the track. What a save. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, no, that could have ended bad, but it has given Ralahi just the time to catch up. He's now only 2 tenths behind, so he'll be looking for an opportunity to take the position, because now it looks like Peach's tyres will probably drop off a lot quicker due to that, because that's how it works, surprisingly. But they've dropped a second off of Johnston, so it's going to be hard to work that pace back up. Johnston's going to have that little bit of freedom, so he's going to be able to kind of go at his more own pace, where he can maybe chill just a little bit more out. But yeah, that gap is closed off significantly.
Oh, Rahali! Oh! That was as close as you can get. You can't get much closer than that. I reckon there was a slight touch there.
Oh, bump drafting into the braking zone.
I'm sure Page will really appreciate that. But Rahali has shown his intent. He wants to get past that Ferrari. I think this is where you'll start to think about an undercut. I reckon this is where you go, well, you know what? We'll just see if we can get an undercut, see if we can get a bit of track position here. Because Rahali is looking very racy and just looks like Simrigs is just struggling a little bit in the Ferrari at the moment.
Yeah, look, he's just got that little bit of a struggle. I don't know, is he mainly a Ferrari driver, or does he drive normally another car for most of the time?
Is that JP?
Yeah.
He tends to go. The most I've seen him in is the Ferrari and the Bentley. I know he's a big fan of both those cars. The Bentley just because he enjoys it, but the Ferrari more so just for the ease of driving and setup. JP doesn't get a lot of time to practice during the week. He's a busy man, so he likes a car he can just jump in and go fast, which is obviously the Ferrari. I have seen him drive the Aston before. I've pretty much seen him drive everything, really. I've never seen him in a Porsche, though, which is interesting enough, so I'm going to have to get that organised.
No, look, he's, from what I've seen, he's a great driver in most cars that I've seen him in, which is pretty much only the Ferrari and Bentley now. But yeah, he's definitely arrived and drived in this, and he's showing that he's got that pace still, even with that last minute practice. Shady Samuel's still in a heavy battle with Rashuti. Godfrey is starting to catch up. You're seeing that gap close between the Honda and the two in front. Of course, a battle does slow your cars down just a little bit, which is enough for cars behind to catch up. Also, looking down the field, there's some battles that are also very close. Struick was before getting pressed by. Oh, where's he gone? Sorry, the driver.
Struick, he's 10th.
Yeah, Chalmers was right up behind Struick, but Chalmers has lost a bit of time to him.
Not too sure what's happened. Well, wow, JP just made a liar of me. I just said he was struggling in the Ferrari and just pops in the fastest lap. Breno, he drove the Porsche for the attack. That's right, he did. Thanks, Breno, for reminding me. Now I remember. Yes, went on map 2 the whole way or something. See, this is why LR's the best. We have all the people giving us all the information when I forget. Oh, Johnson's off! Johnson's off! He's had a huge moment at the chicane. He's gone full deep mode and nearly yeeted it into the wall, and that's dropped him back down to 3rd. So now it's Sneakers will take the lead. We've got ourselves a replay here, and I've got a feeling I know exactly what's happened here. 1 yeet, 2 yeets, bounce, nearly in the wall.
You take that first chicane wrong. As soon as that Aston touches the second part of that chicane, you're pretty much done. I'm surprised he was able to hold on. The car is so hard to hold on, especially when you go flying up in the air like that. So good on him for staying there. He lasted an entire fruit bowl, as Toto said in the chat, which is about right, yeah.
Wow. Drive-by there from Toto. Nice. 88. Is that 88, I believe? Looks like it's had a moment at the chicane as well. Or 33. No, that's Struick. Struick's had a huge moment at the chicane.
Oh, not again. What's happened?
He's down to 22nd. What has happened there? Wow. So he's got a lot of work to do here.
Struick is a very, good driver, especially in wet conditions and with a slippery car after seeing him at Bathurst. usually pretty good. So I want to see what happened. Oh, here's a image.
Oh,
that
that's what
was
happened
88.
to the 80. That was the 88.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a bump, Ferrari on Ferrari. So I'm not sure who bumped who. I think it was O'Brien just getting into the back of Bolt there.
But Struik's still down in 20 seconds, so I don't know what's happened to him as well. So
Struik pitted.
Struik pitted. Oh, okay, yes. Look at the green box here with you, Sean. Seriously. So Struik's pitted, so he's trying something completely different.
But Johnston now down 1.5 seconds. Shady Samuel only 1.5 behind Johnston now. I'm interested to see if Johnston is able to make up that pace like Sonicus was during this race. He's still holding on strong, a lot of clean air, so he should be able to get a decent amount of pace through here.
Super important here for Struik because he is right there and he's got JP closing in on him. Struik's going to have to find something here to try and keep that second gap, or he's going to have to yield, and that will kill his strategy and what he's trying here. Got us as a replay. Oh no, the Red Bull Ferrari. I don't want to preempt things, but yeah, bang.
I'll tell you what, that chicane there, that first part of it, you have to hit it pretty much full on or not at all, because that bump will kill it if it's only half your car in it.
Pretty much. I had to drive around here during the week, just sort of get a feel of the track, but also contemplating making a return. And yeah, this bump right here, so we're on board here at Raleigh. Let's give a really good view of it. So right there, you've got to attack that like your life depended on it. If you go in half-assed, you're going to be half-assed in the wall. So it's one of those tracks you really got to attack and grab it by the scruff of the neck. And I think that's why I enjoy it. It's, rewards getting up on the wheel and driving the car.
I'm slowly learning, at least for me, there's not much of a difference between driving for quali and the race when you're driving up against these faster drivers at the front. You're pretty much 100, well 99, 95% the whole time when you're racing against other people, especially someone like Page, who is a very, very quick driver. Same with Relahi, who's also a very quick driver. You got Johnston up there. You have to push, and you have to keep pushing strong, because any slip-ups, and as we saw with Johnston, he's lost 1.8 seconds on them just from a slight thing. Oh, car 9 on lap 420, just a heads up. Not, it's lap 9 on car 420. Okay, that was very confusing. And there's the penalty for O'Brien, who was the one who punted into Bolt on the first chicane. So, but yeah, as I was saying, very strong drivers, need to push, need to drive hard. Relahi going for the pass and making it through.
Oh, he's got it done.
First chicane.
Oh, Rahali, where's it? Oh, what a move. Opportunistic at its very best.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. A tiny mistake on the chicane, maybe a little bit of overbraking, maybe just hitting the curbs a little bit wrong, and it opens it up for Relahi to just take the spot.
You just saw there the Ferrari Sonicus just jumped around a little bit, and it just ruined his traction, and Rahali was right there and said, I'll be having that, thank you. But look at JP, he's in race mode now. He does not like getting past this man. So he is going to have the eyes on. He'll also have the calculator working and thinking, okay, maybe I've got to pull a bit of a shifty pit strat here. I'll tell you who is catching. That Mustang in 4th position. Shady is coming.
And of course, Struik trying to keep that second gap on the leaders there so he doesn't have to slow down for them. It's going to be a bit of a challenge with these drivers coming around so quickly. But it's a good battle. Looks like going to be coming up ahead for Johnston and Samuel, who has lost Rashidi a little bit. So that is going to be a battle between Johnston and Shady. I'm very excited for this one. A little bit of sand there for the Mustang, but here we go entering the pits. Sorry, the first chicane. What Peach is probably going to be wanting to do is showing as much pink as he can in that mirror, because that cracked the heck out of her.
Oh wow, phrasing.
I mean, look at the sticker on the front.
So come through Villeneuve now as we're riding on board here with Rahali. as Sam O'Brien now gets a 15-second penalty.
That is the correction, by the way. Not another penalty, so that's good.
We knew that.
Shady Samuel right on the back of the Aston now. Only 0.6 between them. It is going to be very close. Of course, Johnston not really losing on Sonicus yet, but when this battle does commence, it is likely that they will be slowed down as he probably will start to take a more defensive line around the track.
Agree. Well, I remember mentioning at the start of the race, I said, watch Shady towards the back end. It's when he starts to come on strong. And he's just showing it now. He's just winding the Mustang up and he's looking to make a move here on Johnson. It's still a super impressive debut from Johnson. Third position in your first Sprint Series race and in Split Red as well. That silver tag, I don't think he's going to hang around too long. He is no doubt a pro driver. You can just tell by the pace and also the skill. But Shady now, he's going to get a thorough examination because Shady looks racy and wants to get past.
Yeah, look, he's pushing very hard. That Mustang able to do something that the Aston can't in that first chicane. So, that's a bit bouncy for that Aston. This might open it up for Shady here if he is able to get a better exit. But it looks like Johnston's worked out for himself and he's gained a bit of time there. And Sonicus losing time on Relahi in first and second at the moment as well. So it's looking like two battles going on very.
Tell you what, that Aston's got some impressive power down. It just pulls away once he jumps on the throttle. Oh, geez, Shady, that was very close. Just pulled that up in time. So circulate again for another lap. We've got 39 minutes to go. It is 17 degrees on track and with the match. And of course, you are watching the Simrigs.com Sprint Series Split Red from the Oceanic region. And it is Rahali leading away from Sonicus, Johnson, Samuel Raschuti, Godfrey Salvaggio, Carl Johnson, Robbie Underwood, and Gobby's in the 10. Get around him. And then it's just Pete Chalmers and Pete Viney. So the Kovacs boys going at it, and they are in 11th and 12th. And of course, leading Ambit is the one and only John Gormley in the 666 Mustang, followed by Asplin and M. Johnson. There's Johnsons everywhere in this race. And they are currently in 16th, 18th, and 19th at the moment.
And that is some very impressive. Chris Murphy making his way up the field as well, currently in 16th position. Very close to pushing up onto Gormley and trying to take on 15th. I am interested to see how his plane goes as well, because this traffic is going to be slowing him down. And there is the pass on Gormley. So a very good push from Chris Murphy. I'm interested to see where he does end up. Back up to Page. Only I was just going to say,
Struix had to yield there. So now this is going to be a real test here.
If Struix able to stay with him, I think his plan won't be ruined too much. But the problem is he's now then got, Shady, Johnston, Raschuti, Godfrey, Salvaggio all behind him, pretty much close to being in a line. So he'll have to, if he slows down for one, he has to slow down for the rest as well. But it's going to be interesting because also the pit strategy still is going to come into play with the whole if people are going to take tyres. I still think it's the play to go tyres. Lucas Keys has asked if Relahi will be baited into not doing tyres, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, how comfortable are you with your tyres? Do you think you can take them the whole distance? I mean, just from what I've been hearing and even what I've felt myself, it's brave to do 60 minutes on tyres around here. Not just brave, it's bloody tough to do.
Yeah, look, if you even doing the 30 minutes is a bit tough, especially at that very end, because you start to feel it about now, just a little bit more looseness as you're coming around. But as you do get to that 30-minute mark of the race, the tyres almost just start to disappear, especially those rear ones. They're just like to slide out in that first and second sector where you wouldn't expect it, but they're long corners. They're pushing your tyres to the limit as you take these corners at high speed. So,
Big move!
going for the...
Got me up the inside. You ran it too deep. Oh, yes, because Underwood gets the power down in the Bentley and says, I'll take that back, thank you. But wow, that was a move from Gobby.
It was an attempt. I'm wondering if it was more of an accident than a thing, but Gobby getting right up behind Underwood, showing his nose there. I think he really wants to make this pass as soon as possible. Shady Samuel already in the pits. I'm guessing wanting some clean air, hoping that it will help him out.
I like it. I like it a lot. Very clever there from Shady. And hopefully, yeah, that'll pop him out in clean air, and then he'll put in a couple of Hollywood numbers, and we'll be very interested to see. I tell you what, Gobby's got better not be too clever here, because he's got one Pete Chalmers absolutely closing in here, and we know Pete Chalmers been around quite a while, and he will know exactly what his plan is. As we jump on board the greatest sounding car in the world, the beautiful 992 GT3R. As he lost a lot of time there through the chicane, though. You could just see, could not get the power down, and there he goes, 4 or 5 car lengths. Tell you, that Bentley through there looks nice and planted, doesn't it?
It almost looks cleaner than the Mustang through there. I don't know if that's just the drivers who are currently there. No shade onto Gobby, but that Bentley looked way too smooth through there. Lucas asking no tyres for Shady again. I'm not sure how long. He might have only been in it for the 25.
I don't reckon he took tyres.
Yeah, which could be the play, but again, he hasn't raced the full 30 minutes yet. The tyres are going to be cold now because of the 17 degrees track. The pit is very long as well, so I don't know if it's going to work for him.
Well, he did drive that opening stick quite conservatively. He didn't really push the car, and so he might have been on tyre save mode already early on. I did flag it. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that'll be very interesting to play out towards the end of the race. If he hasn't taken tyres, he's definitely going to find some time.
Yeah, so this is where it is going to matter. Of course, the leader's still doing very quick laps, so I'm wondering if you do take tyres, is it going to be worth that because it's so difficult to overtake you?
Exactly. Well, that's the thinking, I think, behind it. I think he's going for track position, and track position is king around here. Because it is so difficult to pass. There's probably 1 or 2 chances, and Page is in. Okay, JP's in. Does he nail this pit entry? He is the master of the pit entry normally. Here is Gobby.
Looks like 420 spun at the first chicane as well at the moment. Gobby pushing up really close behind Underwood. I hope somebody is counting how long Sonicus is in the pit for, because I'd like to find out if he did take tyres or not. Maybe I'll start my stopwatch.
Underwood's in. And JP's rolling. JP is rolling into the pit lane. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Such a long pit lane, this one.
Well, this is going to... We probably will see the biggest difference here. If he's doing the 5 seconds, he's going to end up behind Shady Samuel. So we will probably see it within there as well. But... You
can see Shady's pushing here. He's pushing. Because if he didn't take tyres, he's already found 5 seconds. But if he did take tyres...
He has taken tyres. Yep.
Oh, yep. That is a long stop. He's rolling. Shady comes through the final chicane now. Oh, this is going to be close, but I reckon Peach has got him. Of course he has.
But Shady's also, I believe, gained just a little bit of time. Has he? Or is the traffic... No, because he didn't...
No, not really. You must have got quite a... Peach has found a lot of time here. So now, Rahali. What does Rahali do?
No, Shady would have had to have taken tyres with
must
that
have.
much of a gap. Relahi is probably looking to do a...
Yeah, look at 5 seconds. That pretty much slam dunks the tyres argument.
Yeah, look. He's going to be probably looking for a nice gap here for pitting, because you obviously, when you're coming into the pits here, there's a bit of a restriction on it. Because it is straight off of a turn, you kind of don't want to have someone in front of you as you're going for the pits, so you can get your maximum speed going into that.
Yeah, exactly right. It's probably one of the trickiest pit entries in the game, actually. I can't think of a trickier one. I'm just trying to think. Oh, no, Paul Ricard's up there.
Paul Ricard is difficult, straight off of a corner, and then you've got to dive into the right.
Oh, that was a car off there. I just saw that. Here is Scotty Rochford, currently in the 10 at the moment. And he's got Murphy right behind him. So we do have the law firm of Chalmers, Vining and Rochford together. With Lunchy right behind, ready to pounce.
Lunchy want to split up that group just a little bit, but already in the top 10 for Lunchy, though. Of course, there's been a few people who have pitted, so...
Johnson's in.
Johnston's in, so this is... Oh, John. Yep, Johnson.
And Rashuti as well.
Yep. So this is going to be making up for an interesting one. Godfrey's still out in the Honda. Same with Salvaggio. Pushing around the track very long. I'm wondering when they are going to come in, because they'll be pulling it close now. I believe the field is starting to close.
Oh, no, Salvaggio's in. He's decided he needs tyres.
Very last minute.
So Rahali now, this is where it's intriguing, because Rahali's got a lot longer than I thought. Does he think... Oh, geez. That looked really uncomfortable.
Does he think the player's going until for as long as he can and then pitting? Or is
it's risky. It's the 8:33. Everything looks normal. Everything looks normal. That is not normal. That is very not normal. That is a second-hand BMW, and that happened just in front of the leader, Rahali, as well. That would have put a heart skip a beat or two. As Ecor says, the top 3 Pro-Am sandbaggers are looking good. Wow, more drive-bys.
Does it? Do you reckon that comes from pressure of having the leader behind you and not really wanting to lose that lap against the leader? Those kinds of
Look, it is that. It's one of those things, especially when you've got blue flags waving and you do see it is the leader coming up behind you. You do get a little tight. We're all human, so we do suffer from. Well, most of us suffer from emotions.
Those new tyres for Shady seem to be working well. He's currently a few seconds. He was 7 seconds behind Page coming out of the pits, but now he's only 4.5 seconds behind Page. Still a little bit of traffic between them, so it will be close. Johnston.
He's jumped Johnson though
behind Shady, but yeah. So well, that means that they're all. It seems they're all taking tyres, because they're not really much of a gap between them as they come out.
Yeah, so tyres definitely, Luke, you did want to give us the early heads up. The tyres will be the play, and it is playing out that way. Here is our net leader at the moment. Currently running fourth in the championship. So really important race here for JP. If he can get a good result here, it throws him right back in the championship contention. But it is going to be very hard to catch the kid. He's currently on 415 points, or 309 points after corrected points. And then it is Rahali there on 283, and then Shady on 258, and then JP on 225.
Yeah, so it's... Yeah, and also Lucas has changed his car for the rest of the season, moving into the Aston, which is an interesting choice with Paul Ricard coming up, but... it will be obviously down to the final straw with all of these drivers. We are watching Johnson, who's currently got Ruick right behind him as well. That's another one of the Kovacs cars out and about on the track.
So, Struik. Oh, that's very wide. That's very wide. You do not want to be out there. That is not the place you want to be. There is absolutely no grip out there. That would have just shaken his confidence a little bit, I reckon.
Yeah, and that is an easy way to lose time, and there you see a whole half a second taken off from touching that sand on the outside there. If he went just a little bit further on that sand, he would have been shot off over into the random parts of the sand 1,000 kilometers away.
Here is Scotty Rochford, currently in third, still owes us a pit stop. He's got Murphy right behind him. Look at that Porsche, Murphy. He looks racy. He wants to get past here. Oh, that's very wide. You do not want to go much wider than that. So head down now into the Klein chicane.
Viney in the pits, splitting up that little group at the front there with Chalmers and Rochford.
Rochford's had a moment. That's going to give Lunchy a look at Villeneuve. Oh, Rochford goes super defensive and places the car perfectly. Great defensive driving there from Manny.
That's a good one pointed out. Gobby has jumped Underwood also in the pits, 2 seconds ahead of Underwood. So I'm wondering if Gobby didn't go for tyres. Currently actually made a decent amount of time on Underwood.
Oh, Lunchy, that's not the brake marker, my friend. Diebol says these Porsches are sliding all over the place. Holy hell. Yeah, it's normal, standard operating procedure.
And
Lunchy. Oh, that always freaks me out, that camera angle.
Shady Samuel, now 5 seconds behind Sonicus, which I think was the same as before. But Johnston getting nice and close. A blue flag just a little bit in the way, so now that's cleared up. Maybe Johnston's going to try to make up that time. They're doing good laps still, sitting in the low 28s, maybe high 27s. So good pace from these. Well, I say good, but that's really good pace from these front drivers.
It's excellent pace. It's for Harley now. Now I'm really starting to think, what's he up to here? Because I don't know, my gut feel he's ran too long. I think he's going to lose a lot of time in the pit lane. He's surely coming in now, yeah. Definitely in the pit lane. So here we go. And he's attacking this pit entry as well and nails it.
This is where we find out.
Yep, bit of screen-on-screen action here. So we've got camera one, we've got JP. Oh, he's going to do this easy. He's going to do this. Hang on. That camera angle's playing tricks with me. Oh, that's the first chicane. I knew that. So, I knew exactly what I was talking about, mate.
There's blue. Well, look, there's blue flags in the way. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
well,
easy for him.
we'll do something that everyone else does. We'll blame the blue flags.
Yeah, always. Isn't that the way it goes?
Yeah, exactly. Bloody blue flags. All right, so Rahali's in. Peach has just come around the back end of the circuit now, heading down into the boulder block. Comes through the boulder block now, through Jochen Rindbock, then heading up to Jackie X box. Box everywhere.
I think he's going to come out 3 seconds ahead of Peach.
There we go, 3 seconds ahead. Lukey has called it. I'm going to go, it's going to be almost side by side.
Oh, you might be right. I think I'm definitely wrong with how... I didn't realise how far into it Peach was. It might even be that Peach comes out just a bit ahead of Rely. Maybe...
He's got him. He's got him. Peach has pulled a master stroke here, I think. He has. Oh no, Rahali has. Oh, Rahali's in front, but Peach has got the momentum. Rahali's going to have to absolutely fight for his life here because Peach is coming. Peach's tyres are nice and warm. He's in the rhythm. Rahali's just popped out of the pit lane. He's going full defensive now, heading into Klein. He's just got to nail this, and I think he should be able to hold on for a bit. He just takes maybe a little too much curb, and it just ruined his exit there, and Rahali does hold on. So Rahali does get the position. Wow, I thought Peach was going to get that.
I think your first prediction was pretty right, which was that they were going to come out side by side. It was pretty much that. Only not even 3/10 between them. It's that was very close. That had my heart racing for a second there.
This is massive for the championship as well because this will allow Rahali, with Lucas Keys not racing this evening, allow Rahali to close right up. And this will be good points haul for JP as well. And of course, Shady running down there in 6th at the moment. Of course, we are waiting for Chalmers, Rochford and Brickley to come in. Brickley and Rochford have just popped in the pit lane now. So it is Pete Chalmers who is going the extra long strat. So Rahali now leading the way from JP. Shady there, running in 6th at the moment. Then Johnson, Godfrey, Rashuti, Savaggio are your 10. I think if Rahali's taken tyres, I think we'll just see him start to eat away here a little bit and just drive away a little bit. can just see he's got enough of a gap, that sort of half a second gap, which is perfect, what you want around it. JP, that closes up so deep under brakes. Oh, huge slide. And just holds onto it. That is car control at its very best. That was nearly a barrier. How did he hold on to that? Look at this for a bit of driving.
Can't believe he held that.
Look at this, back end just steps out, and wow, that was quick reactions.
Very, very good reaction there. As you do see another driver spinning from that first chicane, but looks like they've made it off pretty good as well. It's a very difficult spot. Oh, that's Salvaggio's just had a little bit of a thing there.
It's the 61, yes, that's right. So that's going to allow Johnson to close right up.
But again, that's opened the gap for Relahi to have a little bit of space. Chalmers in the pits now, so Chalmers is going to get overtaken here by Relahi and Page. We are waiting to see how far up the field he'll make it. Salvaggio is still holding on to the positions from when he spun, so he's still ahead of the two cars that were catching very quick. Struick has made up a decent amount of spots, coming now in 10th, so he hasn't lost too much time from that early pit. It has somewhat worked out well for him. Johnson still holding on to 9th, and he's 1 second behind Salvaggio, so that little slide there did help out for him to catch up.
It certainly did. Struick, I think, came in early as well, because I think he had a moment. And I reckon he would have just come in and thought, you know what, let's just come in. Here's Salvaggio at the chicane. So what's happened here? Oh, yeah, it does that a lot. Has he hit the wall? He has. It was only a touch, though, but oh, boy. That McLaren, when it does that bouncy thing, it feels so strange. And Bolt has got a drive-through, so that most likely will be for track limits. Is our first one. Actually, everyone's done really well with track limits. It is a place where you can get pinned a couple of times.
That second chicane is very dangerous for track limits as well, because if you are just like that slight bit off on that second part of it, you can gain so much time, but you also are very open for a track limits there. And trust me, it's very tempting to cut it a little bit more.
Oh, the fastest way is straight through it. As Rahali now pops in a 27.4 race lap. Looking comfortable. He's going to start to drive away here, I feel. So we are on board with Struick at the moment in the 33 Aston. And he's got Johnson and Salvaggio in front of him. He'll be pretty keen to get past these two. But they're not going to make it easy. And so they shouldn't. They're running in the 10. I'd have the hips out for sure.
Yeah, and look, this is starting to look very close between Johnson, Struick, and Salvaggio. I'm wondering if we're going to get a nice three-car battle. I'm watching my words now. A nice three-car battle between them. Three different companies who made the car. I can't remember what it's called. Manufacturers. I've got it, guys. Don't worry. We're there. Three different manufacturers out here. Porsche, Aston, and McLaren racing hard. It's going to be a very interesting battle, and it's yeah, they've all got different strengths. Aston and Porsche a bit closer in their strengths, but again, they definitely have their varying spots where they're better.
Yeah, definitely. The Porsche's lovely through sort of the faster corners, like up on the start of the lap and the back end of the lap. Porsche's and into the hairpin. The Porsche feels amazing, but the Porsche definitely struggles right here. It just does not feel nice through here. It always feels like it not wants to kill you, but it's just tapping you on the shoulder, letting you know, look, you are pushing the limit a little bit, and I don't like it. Oh, the 101 has had a moment at the chicane. So that is Chris Murphy, Lunchy. Oh, Lunchy's had a big moment. So that's going to drop him down the order there.
I do believe the Porsche has some similarities with issues on that first chicane. Pretty similar.
Oh, it's horrible.
Aston just absolutely cannot take it at all. Which
it's horrible. Like I've actually launched it and yeah, bounced basically into the grandstand. Here's Lunchy. What's happened is this a classic Porsche thing at the chicane? Yep. That is literally the Porsche in a nutshell.
I don't think he's pulled it up in time to keep it off the wall though, so that might be a little bit of front end damage for the Porsche, which is never good.
No, because basically once it starts bouncing, you can't hold on to it. You've lost control of it.
Yep, and he's tried his best there, and he's hit that first bump, and it's turned the car actually more into the second bump of the chicane. So it's like not really much you can do at that point anyway.
Oh,
doing the
wow! Carl Johnson just went full yeet. That was all four off the deck. Well, he just made us all look liars then.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Here we go, watch this. Whoop! Whee! What a... That was magnificent.
747 has taken off.
That is basically someone throwing complete caution in the wind and going, bugger it, I'm sending it.
Still managing to hold on to the position. I'm wondering if Struik had some difficulty getting over the chicane there as well, considering usually once someone does that, it's decently easy to try to like get alongside them. So,
well, there's that as well. He may have actually nailed it. The thing with the Porsche as well over the chicane is if you hit it right, and I mean right, it's a very small window to hit it right. But if you do hit it right, it is very quick through there. But hitting it right is fraught with massive danger. As we saw a perfect example there from Lunchy. Once the rear starts bouncing, you lose all control of the front and the Porsche decides, I'm going to spit you into the wall.
Yeah, so, yeah. Look, and I'm surprised that it didn't spin him into a wall, but we're watching on for some good racing. Patrick Johnston still driving hard, a second behind Shady Samuel, so Shady gaining a little bit of time on Johnston there, but Johnston not having much trouble from behind, which is Godfrey, who's followed by Rashidi. So there's a little bit of a gap now between all of the leaders. 3 seconds between Page and Relahi. Shady now 4 seconds behind Page as well. So it's building up quite a lot. Salvaggio 15 seconds behind Rashidi. So even back there, the gap's kind of opened up there. There's not really much action going out here on the track except for those small little battles happening later down the field, especially between those Pro-Am drivers. You got there's AM drivers and Pro-Am drivers. You've got M Johnston in the Porsche, currently only 0.5 behind Asplin, and there's a few others. Chris Murphy only just behind Gormley, obviously getting back on after that little incident earlier, and that's really all that's within a second of each other.
Yeah, it's one of those it really takes a rhythm to go faster, Andy, and once you're out of that rhythm, you lose a lot of times. We're looking at Murphy here working on the back of Gormley, and he'll be a very angry Murphy under that helmet, I reckon. And Gormley, I don't think Gormley's going to put up too much of a fight here. Well, I say that, now I'm about to be proven wrong again.
Do you have to remember that the Mustang still does have power demonstration?
Whoa, that looked weird, didn't it? Oh, Gormley's gone! Oh, I thought that looked weird. Oh no, that's a real shame. He was leading AM. Is he still leading AM? We're waiting for the other cars to come around. We've got ourselves a Oh, no, Gormley, that's it. No, it's hang on. Here's the replay. So he's just got on the gas too much, and he's just spun it around, and then nearly spun it around again. That is unfortunate. He was driving brilliantly.
I would like to know whether he did change tyres or not, because that looked like a car that had zero traction in the rear, and I heard last race...
Oh, he's off again.
Had zero, yeah, look, he's got zero traction now, his front end's done. I'm starting, I think he did take tyres, just by that level of... Oh, he's come out in front of Shady Samuel.
Oh, if we're going to get us... So, oh, that looked... Yeah, something... Wow, that is a big hit.
I believe he's touched the grass on the right there.
He has, so yeah, that looks really strange. Because normally, if you flat to the boards and you go on the ground, you can hold on to it normally. Oh, Shady just backs that in there. You can see the back end wanted to step out there. So now in third position. So with 12 minutes remaining, it is Rahali leading the way from JP Sonicus. Shady Samuel in third on the screen at the moment. PJ, yeah, we're going to call him PJ, currently in fourth position. There is JP running in second, Shady in third. There is Patrick Johnson, or PJ as I'm going to call him now, in fourth position. Godfrey in the Honda in fifth position. Mega drive, absolutely fantastic drive from Godfrey. And then Rashudi in sixth position in the Sofa King Slow Ferrari. and that is Salvaggio in the McLaren in 7th position. And he's the one and only Carl Johnson there in 8th, and Joshua Streak there in 9th, and Gobby is currently in the 10, and it's Robbie Underwood and Pete Chalmers just sitting outside the 10. You are watching, of course, the Simrigs.com Sprint Series live from Zolder, Split Red.
That's an interesting question. What is the fastest time out there? I believe it is a low 27, I'd say.
27.4 off the top of my head. I believe that was Rahali has popped that one in.
No, that's, that's a great time.
It's fast, yes.
And it looks like despite the incidents Gormley's had, he's still holding on to the AM lead, but he is very quickly being caught by the drivers behind.
He is, but I think he's going to hold on to AM. I think Johnson and Asplin are quite a way down, so I think he's okay there. I think he'll be happy with that. We are looking at, this is probably the best battle on track at the moment. Stroik just working on the back of Carl Johnson here. And Carl's done a great job to actually hold him behind. As we jump on board Stroik as we head down to the Villeneuve chicane. Really tricky part of the track. And then into the Termenbach.
Well, there you go, 27.2. That is the fastest lap.
There you go, Rahali just goes quicker, if you don't mind. And now heading down to my favourite name on the track, the Boulderbach. Stroik really deep on the brake there. But Johnson just kept it nice and straight. Stroik just got that pulled up. But he is looking a little racy. He wants to get past. Blue flags coming up as well. Hopefully get out of the way nice and quickly. Oh, that's an interesting line.
Will it play out for him, especially with Johnson maybe being held up just a little bit by that blue flag, but sure, it looks to be about the same distance he was before. Still very close. And Johnson's gone on the grass, giving Struick a chance to go around the outside, but Johnson holding on to it. Struick going for the switch back. They're getting
that was close. I think Stroik backed out of that. It looked like he just backed out of it as Carl was coming across. So good heads-up driving. But Stroik definitely wants to get past. You can just see showing the nose now. The international sign of I'm quicker, I need to get past. But Johnson, we've seen this from Carl Johnson before. He's very good at defending. Just knows how to keep the car nice and straight. As the Porsche goes bouncy across the Villeneuve bumps.
He's holding that Porsche exactly where it needs to be to stop Stroik from getting past that. As you were just saying, the defense is really good. Putting himself pretty much in the middle of the track for a lot of it. Stroik getting right up behind. That is very, very close. Again, Porsche has probably a better exit out of the hairpin there. Probably better acceleration as a whole than the Aston. Not the greatest car for acceleration with that turbo in it. But again, Struick is going to not let him go here. Again, on the grass, I'm wondering if that is the line for the Aston.
Well, it's interesting because we're watching two cars with very different strengths and weaknesses. The Porsche, as you correctly put out, it is the master of rear traction. If you get it nice and straight off the corner, nothing's going to out-traction it. He goes wide again. That must be Carl's line through there. He likes taking that really wide approach. It does set him up beautifully through here, though. And you just see Stroik just catching that grass quite a bit, and that is going to compromise your exit speed. Probably lost 3 or 4 kilometres down that straight there. As Carl is just yeeting the chicane beautifully at the moment.
Wonder if he found out the secret to get that Porsche through the chicane smoothly like that. Struick lost 3/10 through that little first sector there. I'm guessing it didn't help that slide through turn 2.
Now, the sliding definitely doesn't help, especially on the tyres around here. It's, as I say, it's a bit of a tyre killer, this one. Does remind me a little bit of Sandy Vort. Really tough on tyres. And you really feel it too. So basically, the sign is as soon as you feel the back end starting to slip out, even when you do wind on a bit of TC, it's time to take tyres. It's a real killer. Doing an enduro around here will be very interesting, considering the tyre wear. So, of course, that is coming up. Our Enduro Series did get announced during the week. So we're going to 4 circuits, I believe. We're going to Coda, Zolder, and where are the other? Silverstone?
Silverstone and
Kyalami. Yeah, so that's not where you want to be, Gormley. So really great way to sort of see out 2025 with the Endurance Series. Of course, we don't want to preempt things, but this may be the last year on ACC, with sort of AC Evo really gaining steam and LNU really gaining steam, but it's still got a bit of life left in it, I reckon.
Yeah, just that little bit left, especially while those other ones sort out their issues, as there is quite a lot of issues in those 2 at the moment, being pretty much early access games. So yeah, with that, Aston again, just on the very limit on these corners. You don't want to really hit some of these curbs as well, these exit curbs, because they make you lose more traction, especially one out of this hairpin here, that little grey curve.
Oh, this looks awkward.
There is a mess there for Shady Samuel. I believe he's trying to just make his way through the blue flags here. You've got Asplin and Johnston back here who are currently battling, and then having to deal with blue flags. So I believe Asplin did just make the pass on Johnston though.
So this is a battle for second in AM at the moment. So it's a race within a race within a race. Now PJ's caught up to the back of him. Now normally blue flag drivers are pretty. That's the spot. I don't know about that. There was definitely an opportunity. Oh no! And then Asplin's had to do that, and that's ruined all his momentum there that he had. Oh, sorry, that's Johnson. All his momentum that he had on Asplin. Probably should have let him go at the straight. Personally,
I can understand their thoughts, but when you're in the middle of a battle, it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a battle. If you're blue flagged, you are blue flagged, and you need to get out of it.
Back with Carl. He's doing a fantastic job holding off Struik here. And looking very strong for the Silver Championship as well. It's going to be very hard for him to be beaten. We've got ourselves a replay here. Is this more chicane action? Yes, it is. It's a Porsche doing Porsche things.
That looks exactly like what just happened to Murphy just a bit ago. And that's Chalmers in the wall. A little bit of front damage, I'm going to assume. So not too great for the Porsche. He's been currently fighting a lot of friends. He's lost the position to Viney and Rochford just behind him. So it wouldn't be surprised if Rochford is able to make a pass with the damage on the Porsche if there is a limit.
It'll be fine. It'll buff out. It's all good.
It's alright.
There's Johnson still holding off Struik. We've got 3 minutes 40 remaining. It is Rahali leading away from JP Sonicus. Shady Samuel in third. PJ in fourth. Godfrey in fifth. My driver of the day, actually. Godfrey. What a drive it's been. Rashuti there in sixth. Salvaggio in seventh. Carl Johnson and Struik, who are looking on screen at the moment. And then it is Gobby rounding out the 10. As Struik again shows the nose and he's really good under brakes. But Carl just keeps... Oh, he's got a run here. Struik has a run. He's finally got a run. He's going to pull the inside now. But Johnson goes super defensive as they head down into Villeneuve. And keeps the position. But Struik just showed a little bit of intent there. That, yes, I am ready to make the move.
And again, catching grass on the exit there of that turn. Pushing along strong. You're talking about your driver of the day. I'm still going to put Relahi as the driver of the day for me, because that has been a great race with some very, very clean and good overtakes from that BMW. So I'd put him as my driver of the day.
There we go. We've gone early. Now hopefully they finish.
We just commentated curse for both of them. I hope not, but yeah, it's been a good drive from pretty much all of these drivers today. Doesn't look, I think there was only one penalty from a very early on punt, but apart from that, it's been very clean, no penalties, and yeah, it's been good. 2 minutes left of the race, hopefully no curse there. So
2 minutes ago, so that will be 2 laps, and Johnson is still holding on to this position. He's doing an incredible job. He is under an immense amount of pressure here from Struik. But he's just keeping that car nice and straight, not overexciting it. which is really important in the Porsche. You do not want to excite the rear. You just want to keep it nice and straight. Oh, wow. That makes me nervous. He just absolutely sends it over that chicane and holds on to it every time. It's a great bit of driving.
Look, Struik, again, a very capable driver. Very good. Kind of sad not to have him in one of our teams to endure it, but I'm not going to cry about it. Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Bloody Lucas.
But again, some really good driving out here today. If you look at the top 10, there's only really 2 cars that do repeat in that top 10, or 3 cars. I've missed one, which is the Ford, the Ferrari, and the Aston. But otherwise, every car is different in that top 10.
It is great to see a good mix of manufacturers. BMW, Ferrari, Ford, Aston, Honda, Ferrari, McLaren, Porsche, Aston and Ford are your 10, with a big bad Bentley just sitting outside the 10. Of course, that's the 131 of Robbie Underwood. As we've got a tick over 37 seconds remaining, so this will most likely be the final lap. Or you reckon they'll get one more? No, this will be the final lap.
No, one more.
One more, you reckon?
From yeah, one more.
Oh, there we go. Yep, one more. As we've got this lovely camera shot here. Oh, this is some really nice work here from Benjamin Hignett.
Car looks like it's been through a whole day of Le Mans.
It does. It's got that Le Mans look, doesn't it? The Le Mans look.
I guess you could just say it's a racing look, but I mean, he's been on the dirt a few times, so that probably wouldn't help. I'm not saying that it's from bad driving, but he needs to keep it on the track, I think. Sorry, I have to say it at least once. Call it once.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yes, string. So this is This is not the last lap, but the last lap, but not the last lap. I hate this timing board on ACC. It does my head in.
It is a lap, and that's what matters.
Yes, it is a lap. We've established that. They are circulating. So this will be the final lap. And it is going to be Johnson who is going to try and hold off Struik, but it is Rahali leading away, who's got nearly a 9-second advantage over Sneakers, who both have drove a fantastic race, but Rahali just had the pace today. And then Shady Samuel, a very solid third. That will do his championship, no harm at all. And then back to Carl Johnson and Struik. And I think Struik might have just put the cue on the rack. Oh, I say that. Oh, it's going to be... If he can nail this chicane, he's probably got one chance.
He has to do a perfect third sector.
But it is Rahali who's going to take the win in round 4 of Split Red. Fantastic drive. Really didn't look headed. Once he got past, was pretty clean. JP will finish in second. Third will be Shady Samuel. And then fourth, I believe, is PJ. And then fifth, a driver of the day, Godfrey. What a drive. Fantastic drive in that bloody Honda. And then Rashudi will finish in sixth. And then no, that's a lot. There are 2 AM class cars, and the Aston does get over the Porsche there.
That's second and third for the AM as well.
It is. Now, there's a red box there. Is that a drive? There's Savaggio.
Oh, Viney has
it is a drive. Viney's got a drive through the last lap. Ouch. As Carl Johnson does hold on, Struik will finish in 9th, Gobby will finish in 10th, Robbie Underwood will finish in 11th position. Eric Cousins across the line now. And just waiting for our next cars. Yep, we're just going to sit here, talk amongst yourselves, everyone, have a chat. And there's another one of the Kovacs cars and Annie. So that was Rochford and Viney coming across the line. But it will be Rochford will finish in front. And here is Rob Brickley in that absolutely gorgeous Bentley. One of the nicest presented cars on the grid. As Gormley comes across the line, and it's another one of the Kovacs Porsches. But that is it. Split red. Run and done. Congratulations. Does go to Rahali though. Beautiful performance. And he will take the W.
That is a big W there for Relahi. I'm sure they'll do wonders for the championship for him. But no, very, very great push. Look at those lap times, 27.2. Jeez.
So recapping our race results, it is Rahali, Sonicus, Samuel, Johnson and Godfrey are your 5. And then moving across the silver class, it is Johnson and Johnson and Underwood. Pro-Am, it's Godfrey, Salvaggio and Govic. And then in Am, it's Gormley from Asplin and Johnson. What a race.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was, at least from what I heard, a bit more entertaining than the split blue race. So I really enjoyed commentating that one with you. Thank you for letting me come in the comments box with you again.
It's always a pleasure. So a big thank you does go to our magnificent stewards, also our fantastic race directors, the one and only Benjamin Hignett, who's been providing all these pictures. Huge thank you does go to Jane Rondinella, aka Loopty, for joining me in the box. But other than that, I am Sean Wallace signing off for now. You've been watching OOR, and we'll see you next time.